This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this? Dun 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, September 22nd. I am Sam here with my friends Al and Erica. Tori has the day off. Let's get started. So we begin with really tragic news because the coroner in the case of Gabby Petito confirmed that the remains found at a campground in Wyoming are in fact her. The FBI announced the manner of death was a homicide, but no word yet on the cause of death. Meantime, the search for Gabby's fiance, Brian Laundrie, continues. The FBI is asking for the public's help in locating him. Brian has been missing for more than a week now. Where is Brian? Do you think someone's helping him hide? Do you think he fled the country? What are you thinking?
I really don't know. I don't know. Obviously the fact that he didn't speak to authorities, no one from his family's cooperating. I mean, it's definitely raised a suspicion, but who knows? And especially when you're talking about someone who is standing accused of murdering his girlfriend, there's a narcissism there. That it's unbelievable. I know you followed these cases, having actually covered these types of cases, and who knows if he's dead or alive.
Yeah, I mean, he could be dead, but he doesn't strike me as a person that has a lot of savvy surviving on his own, like a person that's used to being out on the lam. It does seem like if he is still alive and he is still out there, he has to be getting aid in some kind of way.
You think from
somebody.
Family?
I wouldn't even want to speculate,
Okay.
but I wouldn't be surprised. Somebody that's sympathetic to his situation. I mean, he doesn't strike me as a person that, is like lives some kind of outlaw life where he knows how to duck and dodge in between motels and, gas up where there's no cameras. He doesn't strike me as that kind of savvy of a person. It seems like a kind of suburbanite kid that likes to hang out in the woods on the weekends. And I don't know if he could survive out there without being spotted at all. I find that very hard to believe.
And I agree with you, and I do think that we're going to learn really quickly from investigators exactly the cause. We're also going to find out, I guarantee you they already have some leads on where he is, but perhaps they don't want to disclose that. So he stays put. So to your point, I predict that we're going to learn a lot more sooner than any of us believe. Okay, so there is a picture of what's reported to be Brian Laundrie's bedroom from 2017, and it's getting a lot of attention. The photo is from a realtor website when the home was up for sale. So I want you to take a look here. This is his bedroom. Now there are a couple of items in that internet sleuths are pointing out. First, it appears to be an American flag decorated gun next to a shelf. Okay, so you can see that. There's also this Darth Vader mask on the bookshelf. And finally, there's a poster showing figures with knives and other weapons beating people. So curious what our viewers think. Of course, I want to know what Erica and Al think. What do you think? Does this actually reveal anything in your opinion? Is this a distraction or a clue?
I don't know if it's a clue, but I'm not shocked that that's what his bedroom looked like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah.
Meaning, clarify, because many teens' bedrooms look this way, or to what perspective you think of him?
If I saw a picture of him and a description of who he was, then I would expect his bedroom to look like that. I don't know. That's just.
I would say this, Erica. I think that in a lot of parts of this country, a lot of young men especially have either a gun, a picture of a gun, or a real gun that they go hunting with. There are gun families, a lot of millions of them. So I don't think having a gun, especially clad in the colors of the United States, is that shocking. Darth Vader, everybody has something Star Wars in their home if you are an adult or a child. And as for the picture, I do think that there's this kind of obsession with violence when you're a young guy, whether you play first-person shooter games, whether you're into kind of reading graphic novels or watching, if he had a row of DVDs of horror movies, that doesn't mean anything. This really kind of reminded me of Columbine when everybody's worried about the long black trench coats and, trench coat mafia, and now Marilyn Manson's band. That's how you start to go down that hill. So I'm like, that just looks like a 17-year-old boys'
I'm a little
apartment.
hesitant just because I look back at my own experience where I was into very violent video games like Mortal Kombat, but I was like, you know, at the same time, I was saving animals on the side of the road.
Right.
So I know that the police are going to have to use discernment to figure out whether this is a clue or distraction, but I just want people to understand that that doesn't always equate to violence just because you may be gothic or have like a dark.
Exactly, and it's a good way to just kind of get, you know, start to stereotype people that are completely harmless.
Great point. Okay, so the Gabby Petito case has definitely grabbed the attention of the entire nation, but some are pointing out that while there's a national spotlight on Gabby, there are still so many other people missing, specifically missing people of color who do not get the same attention. Here's what Joy Reid had to say about it on her show.
No family should ever have to endure that kind of pain, and the Petito family certainly deserves answers and justice. But the way this story has captivated the nation has many wondering, why not the same media attention when people of color go missing? Well, the answer actually has a name: missing white woman syndrome, the term coined by the late and great Gwen Ifill to describe the media and public fascination with missing white women like Laci Peterson or Natalie Holloway, while ignoring cases involving missing people of color.
Erica, what did you think about what Joy Reid said?
Well, we've actually had this conversation on this show before, and I was very transparent that the first time, and this is seared in my memory for so many reasons, but there was a young woman by the name of Naila Franklin. She went missing in Chicago, and it turned out that she was murdered by her boyfriend, who was my neighbor. And I remember this case playing out for a multitude of reasons. Obviously, the proximity was a big one. But before I even knew that connection, I followed that case so intently because I was captivated by the idea that this young black woman was getting so much attention. I had never seen it before on national news. So I understand exactly what Joy Reid is speaking of. And the truth is, in the context of American history, white women have been the most protected. So when you look at a case of a missing white woman or a white woman who has had a horrific demise, then that is a whistle to everyone. If she isn't safe, then who is? Whereas in juxtaposition, if you're talking about a missing person of color, there is this caveat, so to speak, that, well, that's just that might be an unfortunate story, but it might have to do with other things. But the idea that she's this blonde, blue-eyed, like all of the things that we've been taught in fairy tales is the perfect safety of a princess, then we get, as a nation, the nation becomes very up in arms because if she's not safe, then who is safe?
Well, and we always have to factor in capitalism into everything. And Erica, you were talking about blonde hair and blue eyes. A lot of people in this country can identify with that. That looks like a lot of people's daughter, a lot of people's niece. And if I need to get your eyeballs on my television screen, a la Nancy Grace, to look for half an hour about this daughter that could be your daughter, be your niece. And in the meantime, here's a commercial for Tide. It's all about how you sell things. And these young women, Elizabeth Smart, Natalie Holloway, all these people, they look like the majority of the population. And they're going to be very sellable. You know, you were talking about Naila. Like, I knew her sister very well, know her sister very well. I did comedy with her sister, Marina, forever. So I also knew that case. And I was thinking, what other person of color, young woman of color, can I name in my 44 years of life?
I tried to think about the same
Can you name
thing earlier
one?
today. No, and that's where it really hit me in the face because, for one, I understand that this case, yes, she's blonde hair, blue-eyed. She also has 1 million YouTube followers or whatnot. So let's try and compartmentalize that because people are going to immediately say, but she had a big, big following.
How many did Natalie Holloway have?
Exactly. So that's why I wanted just to differentiate it. But I could not think of a woman of color that I can call to the front of my mind like I can with some of the other young white women. So I think that it's important that we highlight that we heard it obviously from Joy earlier, and since we did brought it up, we need to use our platform and highlight some of these other missing person cases. So you never know, maybe one of our viewers will know something because we're going to provide you guys with some phone numbers. This is Lauren Cho, known by the name Elle. She has been missing since June 28th, okay? Was last seen leaving her home in Yucca Valley, California. If you have any information, please, we are broadcast all over the nation. please look at the number on your screen. Next is Akia Eggleston. She was last seen on May 3rd, 2017 in the Inner Harbor area of Baltimore City, Maryland. She was 8 months pregnant when she disappeared. If you know anything, please call the FBI's Baltimore field office. And this is Daniel Robinson. He's a 24-year-old geologist that was last seen leaving a job site in Buckeye, Arizona on June 23rd. Anyone with information, call the Buckeye Police Department. And I know these are just a drop in the bucket, right?
These are people's kids.
These are people's kids, parents, fathers, siblings. Heartbreaking. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Dr. Drew and his daughter. We are talking about their book that's all about having tough conversations with your kids. Plus, Kelly Ripa and husband Mark Consuelos reveal how they settle fights, why they say heading right to the bedroom works for them.
Closed captioning provided by
Hi. So, so we're having this conversation about white woman syndrome, and I do think it is very important to at least acknowledge that there's a duality of thought here. The outrage and the outcry for this young woman, Gabby Petito, is very much warranted, and I don't want to diminish that, but two schools of thoughts can exist at the same time. It's important for there to be an outcry for Gabby, but there's also an importance in there being an outcry for all of the other missing people, whether that's people of color, LGBTQ+, QIA+, who are historically never spoken about. So when we're having these conversations, we do need to understand that all of these people deserve this time. And when I made the comment that it is historically contextualized, that's all to say that people have died and have been falsely accused and lost their lives due to allegations, even some of them unfounded, made by white women. And because there is this historical context to protect the white woman in this country. So it's not surprising that people of color and marginalized communities aren't given the same amount of media as women like Gabby, but obviously this is a very traumatic and terrible case.
Tori Schulman, Al Jackson, Erica Cobb, Jeff Schroeder, Sam Shocker.
This is my show, baby.
Celebrating our 5th year and going strong, DBL is always all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. Kelly Ripa's husband, Mark Consuelos, knows how to keep the peace at home. Kelly recently revealed on her show how Mark likes to settle any issues that come up in their relationship by doing this.
He would have been like, oh, you're upset? I know how to take care of that. Oh, you don't feel good about something? I'll take care of that. Oh, you're feeling like maybe you're overworked? I got you. I know what you need. Because everything for Mark is settled with, everything is settled with love and sexy time.
Okay. Oh, wow. What do you think, Al?
Completely agree.
Really?
You know, I watch
That's how you handle your fights?
I watch a show called Married at First Sight. And obviously they get married first. And so obviously they're still strangers, so they don't have sex right away. And there's all this tension. There's, I don't know, is Erica gonna try and tell me how to run my finances? The night they have sex, they come to breakfast, a whole different vibe. It's a different thing. It works, it relieves tension. And if you're not having sex, it does build up and there's animosity that's unspoken. It can lead to trouble. I think sex solves a lot. Not everything, but a lot.
Well, a little inside baseball. We have our morning meeting, and it's over Zoom. And my husband was in the bathroom as I was getting ready. He walked by, and this topic came up, and he went, and just kept walking. And I'm like, because I very much I feel like I have to mentally be in a space to be in the bedroom in that way. So if I'm upset about something, I don't have this quick turnaround like, oh, everything's going to be okay now, because mentally I'm not there.
I'm right there with Erica. Yes. First of all, Al, I looked into psychology with it. Obviously, I'm not a clinician, but there are clinicians out there who've spoken out about this. Yes, intimacy is super important in a relationship. However, if you're using sex to put a Band-Aid on 1,000+ issues that you are not actually dealing with, you're never going to deal with it. So you can have both. Both can be true.
Yeah, and this is where I want to push back on you, Erica, because I know that it's completely important to be in the right headspace for sex. But I think sometimes when you're waiting for that perfect moment, more time and more tension's building up. Sometimes if you just get in there, take care of it, and then when you come out, see how you feel. It's like the end of a car wash. It's like, hey, I feel a little bit better. It's that your car isn't fixed, but it's a little bit cleaner.
I don't want to be touched with a 10-foot pole when I'm angry.
It doesn't have to be 10 feet. I was like, it doesn't have to be 10 feet.
All right, Mark.
That's a saying.
Okay.
That's a saying. It has nothing to do with a euphemism.
Okay. Good for you, girl.
Shout out to Mark.
Stop it. Coming up on DBL, our interview with Dr. Drew and his daughter. We're getting the deets on their book, which is all about those hard to talk about combos with teens.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
Welcome back to DBL. Remember hearing about the birds and the bees from your parents? Yeah. Well, we spoke to Dr. Drew Pinsky and his daughter Paulina about their new book and why those conversations do not have to be so awkward. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
Yay.
Drew and Paulina, hi.
Hey guys.
Hello.
Okay, so Drew, you've been talking about sex, and I've even been there right next to you on Loveline for years, but it didn't go that smoothly with your kids at first. That surprises me.
Well, I mean, look, when you're every parent has just produced a parent, so that's just, and we tell the story in the book. The more interesting thing to me, though, is that in spite of these being topics that I've talked about for a long time, the conversation has changed a little bit. And we originally got involved in this project. The idea was sort of backing into consent, because that was pre-COVID. It was in the days of the Me Too movement. And I was like, young people are extremely confused about consent. And if we're going to approach that, I need a young person. And Paulina's a writer, and so I got her involved with it, and that was a very good move.
Paulina, you are brilliant. First of all, it's so good to see your face, and I'm just so proud of like everything that you're doing, really. But I have to ask you, why were you so reluctant to hear about the birds and the bees from your dad? I mean, I get it, but tell us why.
Because everyone was hearing about the birds and the bees from my dad, and so everyone expected him to talk to me about it. And so I knew it was coming, and I knew that people were getting information, but I had no desire to hear that information.
I know. I would start. She would bounce forward with crazy questions. I go, okay, here you go, and she'd run away screaming. So, but listen, this book is not about that. It really isn't. We tell those stories, but this book is about how to have healthy relationships, how to navigate relationships and consent, all kinds of relationships, romantic relationships, relationships with adults, relationships with your parents. We really are focused. We're not focused on the biology in this text. We really are not, because that's out there. That's everywhere.
It exists.
Yeah, it's already out there, done. But this is, but this is about how to navigate relationships in a healthy way. So.
Ultimately, taking consent out of a sexual context and putting it into an interpersonal context teaches people how to practice consent before they get into a sexual context.
Yeah.
You were talking about consent over and over and over again. Let's talk about that. Paulina, specifically, were there times in your life where consent was an issue? And I don't mean even if it's a capital S sexual assault. I mean even just interpersonal, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think throughout my life, I learned different ways in which I did or didn't consent because we wrote this book. So obviously in a sexual context, I had blurry consent throughout college. I would use alcohol to initiate sex, and it left me feeling emotionally bankrupt and not good about myself. And then too, as a child, I feel like I was put into dynamics with older adults that maybe weren't healthy for me. And I didn't really know the signs and signals for what was an inappropriate relation. And so through writing this book, I think we are able to provide guideposts for people so that when they go through these relationships, they know when they're relating to someone in a healthy way or not.
You said something rather profound last time we were out talking about this book, was that if you'd had this in college, you would have avoided a lot of unpleasant situations.
Absolutely. I didn't learn about consent until orientation week.
Wow.
And, it was consent is sexy. No means no. Yes means yeah. And that was it. And it wasn't a nuanced conversation. It was very black and white. And consent is an ongoing negotiation. It isn't something that you just give willy-nilly. You can take it back at any point if you're uncomfortable. And that's something that I really want to drive home.
And look, we get into everything. We get into gender, sexual orientation. We get into all the stuff that's so confusing for late adolescents, and really give them a frame to go after it and understand it in a comfortable way, a non-awkward way. So the awkward thing is not just about the parents, it's about navigating relationships before you really understand what you're doing.
Drew, what's up, man? This is Al Jackson. Really quickly, man, how you doing? We only got about 30 seconds. What advice would you give to people that are still resistant to getting the COVID vaccine?
Listen, the one easy thing for me, there's a lot to that conversation. I work with resistant behaviors all the time, right? People that want to keep doing drugs and don't want to listen to people. I know you go straight at them, it's the worst thing you can do. The one simple thing I would start with is saying, look, maybe you don't want to take the risk for yourself, but how about for the rest of us? We have an obligation to sort of make sure we suppress this thing from replicating so it doesn't form more an awful variant. So on behalf of everybody else, at least, maybe take a little bit of risk on your own.
Thank you for that. Drew, Paulina, thank you for speaking to us. I definitely believe that your book will save relationships. It will save lives. And you can order your copy of their book by going to drdrew.com/awkward. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do they do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. It is time for a security alert sponsored by LifeLock. So according to AARP, robocallers are claiming to be a patient advocate named Becky and offering a genetic cancer screening. If the caller says everyone qualifies for the test or that you shouldn't consult your own doctor, this call is fake. If you receive a genetic testing kit in the mail, do not accept it unless your doctor ordered it. Really important information. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure. Call 800-439-9017. Have a great day, everybody.
It's important that we have accurate information, so let's verify some fast facts about the flu. Our sources are this panel of health experts and top scientific organizations. First, let's answer this. Is there a best time to get the flu shot? Our experts say that the answer is yes. The best time to get the shot is before the end of October, because that's usually when flu season starts to pick up. Let's move on to our next question. Is it true that getting the flu shot can cause a positive COVID test? And this one is false. Here's how our experts explain it. The flu shot causes your body's immune system to make antibodies that protect you from influenza. Those antibodies are completely different from the ones that you would have if you were fighting COVID-19. And COVID tests look for genetic makeup unique to SARS-CoV-2, not the flu. Bottom line, having flu antibodies will not cause you to test positive for COVID-19. And let's move on to our last question. Can you get your flu shot and a COVID booster shot at the same time? Our experts say that there isn't a lot of research, but early data says that the answer is yes. Take it from Johns Hopkins professor, Dr. Anna Durbin.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another. It's unlikely that it's going to affect the immunogenicity or the protective effectiveness of either of these vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Here's what we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Gabby Petito's murder case continues to capture the country, but is missing white woman syndrome overshadowing other important missing person cases? In today's True Crime Chronicles, after 24 years, a serial killer is sentenced to death. Now the mother of one of his victims is speaking out.
It's become a cliche that missing child is the worst nightmare.
Remembering a beloved Sex and the City star gone too soon, how Willie Garson's role as Stanford is leaving a lasting impact. And from the brand new TLC show, Dr. Mercy.
In one of the episodes, you'll actually see me run into the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, September 22nd. I'm Sam here with Erica, Jeff, and Al. Let's get started. Very sad news to begin the day. The coroner in the case of Gabby Petito confirmed that the remains found at a campground in Wyoming are, in fact, her. The FBI announced the manner of death was a homicide, but no word yet on the cause of death. Meantime, the search for Gabby's fiance, Brian Laundrie, continues. The FBI is asking for the public's help in locating him. Brian has been missing for more than a week now, and I'm just reading our comments from our viewers. Everyone wants to know, where is Brian? But I do just want to preface, sometimes, I've covered a lot of these cases for HLN and CNN. Sometimes we forget the people involved, right? Because we're so stuck on where is Brian or what's happening here. We have to remember that, humanity here. A person has died and that her family is absolutely suffering. I'm sure Brian's family is suffering too for completely different reasons. What do you think? Where is Brian?
I do not know. I think that, people are speculating, is he dead? Is he alive? I think in a lot of these situations, as you mentioned, you've covered a lot of them. It wouldn't be surprising to me either way, especially because you hear of, people who have taken the lives of people who are very close to them. And there is this seemingly, I'll say narcissism, which seems like far too little of a word. But I don't know, Sam. I have no idea.
All right, so for more on this, we are joined by criminal defense attorney and the principal of Joey Jackson Law. Joey, it is so good to see you despite these horrific circumstances. Thank you for joining DBL. So where do we go from here?
First of all, good to be with each and every one of you. Sad case indeed. That's a loaded question, Sam, for a number of reasons, but I'll tell you where I think we should go. Number one, right, we certainly need to find out where Mr. Laundrie is. That's significant. Why? Because he needs to be brought to justice. What does that mean? Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but something seems amiss here. So the first step is to find him. What's step number two? Step number two is to proceed as the investigators are proceeding with respect to that investigation. Process one in that investigation is to do that autopsy and determine the cause of death. Why is that relevant? Because that will allow investigators and police, Sam, to make a determination as to how she died, what specifically occurred. Step number three, then, of course, is you're going to not only look at the body, I know it's graphic, but you're going to look at the surrounding crime scene and where the body was found. Now, is it possible that she could have been brought there at some later time? Is it possible that the crime was not committed there? I say crime because it's been ruled a homicide. That means it's not natural causes, so I'm confident in saying a crime was committed, but they'll scour that scene indeed for any forensic analysis that would bring them to that approach of who did it. Then after that, they're going to be speaking to any eyewitnesses, not only as to the specific instances of the criminal act itself, but filling in the gaps. Did you see them at an earlier time? What was the interaction? What were they doing? How were they doing? Summing this up, you're also going to look at all the digital blueprint that we've been looking at. You have a real cross-country trip. It is documented, hook, line, and sinker. Here's where we are. This is what we're doing. This is what's happening. And then that goes cold. So they'll look at that digital blueprint. That'll include text messages, any emails, any other information, and that will really get investigators to the point of really determining whether he was responsible, he being Mr. Laundrie, for her death.
So, Joey, I'm curious, and I think our DBL Nation is as well. Now that we know this is a homicide, why hasn't Brian been charged with a crime?
So, you know, he could very well have been, right? And I say that, and all of you saying, well, wait a second, we haven't heard about anything about criminality as to him. He hasn't been named a suspect. He's not a defendant in the case. I would suspect and anticipate that investigators, in conjunction with prosecutors, have delineated what specific charges they think are appropriate and viable here. I would also suspect that if they've done that, it's possible that there are charges pending, but that they're what we call, as lawyers, under seal. That means that they're not for you, I, or anyone else to know. It's for investigators to know. Remember this also. When we talk about charges, people could say, well, we don't know if he did it. We have no direct evidence. We're not sure. You don't need any of that. What you need is two things: reason to believe a crime was committed, number one, and number two, reason to believe that Mr. Laundrie committed it. That's what we call probable cause. You don't have to wait to arrest someone until you've determined to a scientific certainty it was them. You need probable cause to arrest. Once you do that, you continue to build your case so that you as a prosecutor can make an assessment and determination as to whether you can prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. I think if they find him, we're going to see charges virtually immediately.
So, Joey, there's a big difference between arresting someone and arguing he did it. So what do you think of the evidence in this case, and is it enough for a conviction?
So, great question. And obviously, listen, I'm a defense attorney, and so I believe in the presumption of innocence. I believe everybody should have their day in court. I believe everyone is entitled to the most vigorous defense, right? We have people in jail who shouldn't be in jail. That's a travesty. Having said that, there's so much circumstantial evidence here. Oftentimes, crimes are not committed in the light of day. They're not committed in major cities during the light of day where you have surveillance and you have 10 eyewitnesses. So what does that mean? It means you have to piece them together. That means that unlike those cases where you have direct evidence indicating, yes, I saw her do it, I saw him do it, I saw A, B, C, and D. In many instances, you don't have that. Prosecutors have to piece together circumstantial evidence. Brief moment of pause. What does that mean? Well, if I came in here before I had the pleasure of speaking with all of you, and it was really sunny outside, but then when I left to get some lunch or coffee after this conversation, it was wet everywhere. Cars were wet, but it wasn't raining. What could I reasonably presume? I could presume it rained while we were having this discussion. Circumstantial evidence is powerful, and they have that here. Like what? You went on a cross-country trip. You did that in June. You documented everywhere you went, all the places, who the people you were with, what food you were eating, what exactly you were doing. You were keeping in touch with your family, and then you weren't doing it. And guess what happens after that? After that, you go home, Mr. Laundrie, and Miss Petito is missing. And then there's a determination that not only is she missing, but she's dead. And you're a guy who is in the wind. So let me ask you the question. Why would you run if you had nothing to do with it? We call that consciousness of guilt. Now, to be clear, there's an autopsy that has to be performed. There's a lot of evidence that needs to be gathered. You know, he's entitled to his day in court. He'll be vigorously defended. But that circumstantial evidence, buttoning this all up, looks an awful lot like rain to me. And as a result of that, that's what you prove in a court of law as to guilt. Final point. We don't have all the evidence and information here by far. We don't have evidence that exonerates him, meaning tends to show that he's innocent. We don't have all the evidence that tends to show that he's guilty. But from what I see, you certainly have the probable cause. We'll see what happens in a court of law if we get that far, provided that he's safe and okay and didn't do something harmful to himself if or when they find him.
All right, Joey, I want to talk about Brian's parents, because if he came back and confessed anything, do they have an obligation to say something, or are they protected in any way because he's their son?
So, great question. So what it comes down to is this. We know, all of us, that you have something called a spousal privilege. And what that means is that, pillow talk is protected. In the event, for example, you told your spouse anything, either party, husband tells wife, wife tells husband, that's protected. It cannot see the light of day again. No one has to know about it. And it cannot be admitted in a court of law, right? Unless there's some exception or waiver and say, I want to testify, says one spouse, but it's protected. That does not extend to parents. It does not extend to children. So there is no privilege. What does that mean? It doesn't that parents have to be cooperative. It doesn't mean that we could expect or have them come forward and say, my son told me this and he told me that. But what it does mean, right, is in the event investigators investigate, and let's say, for example, the parents lie. Let's say, for example, they make misrepresentations. Let's say, for example, they were told information and they spoke and they weren't forthcoming about it. That's what we call hindering prosecution. That's what we call obstruction of justice. That's what we call a crime. Buttoning this up. You don't have any obligation, if you're the parents, to go singing like a canary about your child. But in the event you say something and it is false or misleading, now that becomes problematic, and now you get yourself embroiled in criminal activity, which is why all of us defense attorneys say, do not say a word. But I guarantee you they'll be subpoenaed and they'll be asked an awful lot of questions moving forward.
Wow. Joey Jackson, thank
Great
you. You are a wealth of information. Thank you for your clarity. We appreciate you joining us here in DBL. Thank you, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Great to be with all of you. Have a great day.
You
God
too.
bless.
We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Okay.
That guy
Attorney
was a
Joey Jackson.
Snapple cap full of information.
Honestly, as he was talking, I was like, oh, this is why you pay for a good attorney.
Yeah.
This is
just the way
why,
he talks.
I feel like any court case I'm going into, I'm in good hands with Joey.
But he breaks it down and explains why, technically, because we all kind of have the same idea or questions, but he really breaks it down for you.
Right. I never understood when you were allowed to testify against your spouse and when you weren't. And I was curious as to what obligation do the parents have, because most parents are not going to tell their kids. Some people call the police on their kids, but I didn't know what obligation they had. So there's so many different things legally. And when we first started talking about this case, I was like, I literally do not understand the law. I understand law and order, TV law, but I don't understand when you're forced to speak, how they obtain warrants. Why was he allowed to go home and then seemingly leave if he did go home? I just wasn't understanding.
I think they're keeping a lot of, I wanted to ask him, but we ran out of time, but a lot of stuff close to the vest, right? They don't want to show their cards. They want to make sure if he did do it, which it seems like he did, allegedly, they don't want to get off on a technicality. They want to make sure he's convicted.
The investigators, I believe, know where he is, or are very close to finding where he is, but they're not going to say it because they want him to stay put.
I believe
any day
that
now,
too.
we're going to have an arrest, or they're going to know what happened to him. So.
Yeah. And then he'll go to jail, and he'll
If he's
have
alive.
4 girlfriends in there.
Yeah, and he'll probably have a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such
and
a
a
weird
Netflix
thing.
special in 10
The
years.
guy that killed his family in Colorado, not too far from here, he's got a girlfriend, and I think I have a kid on the way.
You mean the man
Okay.
who put his
Thank
kids
you,
in a
Chris.
barrel?
Yeah.
And his wife? Yeah.
He's dating.
Good for him.
He's
I'm glad.
dating.
I'm glad he's
How is that?
Dude, that's what
who
sickens
was like,
me.
you know what, this guy needs to have a girlfriend. I don't understand.
And how it's allowed, and who is that person?
I don't understand, again, I don't understand.
Welcome back to DBL. So Kelly Ripa's husband, Mark Consuelos, knows how to keep the peace at home. Smart guy. Kelly recently revealed on her show how Mark likes to settle any issues that come up in their relationship a specific way. Watch.
He would have been like, oh, you're upset? I know how to take care of that. Oh, you don't feel good about something? I'll take care of that. Oh, you're feeling like maybe you're overworked? I got you. I know what you need. Because everything for Mark is settled with, love. Love and sexy time.
What, you're laughing. What do you think about this?
I agree.
Really?
Not everything. She said everything. Not everything. But if you're fighting about something stupid, you're arguing about this or that, you know.
I feel like most healthy relationships, your arguments are over something kind of silly. They're not over like whose underwear are these? Like they're more like, hey, you said you were going to. That's serious. Like,
oh, you mean
yeah, I'm saying it's like,
gotcha,
hey, you said you were going to pick the dry cleaning up, and you didn't. So if you add up the course of your relationship, all the silly fights, that's a lot of time. If you can mitigate that and remove some of that and replace some of that fight time with sexy time, why wouldn't you do that? Why? You'll talk better after sex anyway.
Erica?
I'm just so shocked that the two men on the panel would say that, of course, it just cures everything.
I didn't say cures. Hey, my wife brings me coffee sometimes in the morning.
Oh, and so now this is a really great opportunity to tell you how great I cure it. I get coffee afterward. I think that a lot of times for women, it's such a mental block when there's something going on that ain't quite right. So I don't know if going to the bedroom is really the cure for or end all be all.
Yeah, when I'm in a fight with my husband, I don't want to be near him. I need my space, and Mark needs his space too. So this does not apply in our relationship at all. I did look at the psychology of it because none of us are clinicians, and the clinicians out there say that yes, intimacy is very, very vital in a relationship, but you don't want to substitute, AKA put a Band-Aid on the thousands of issues that you may not be dealing with by just turning to sex. So I think that's important.
I will say this, and one thing that I did learn, I know we're joking around a little bit, but in couples therapy, they said if you take a break and then when you come back, just hold each other's hand while you talk.
I love that.
And that it just like the physical touch.
Yes.
Jeff's out, but the physical touch does help, like when you're communicating like, this is how I felt. Do you hear me? And then repeat back what they just said.
That could put you in the mood.
If we're getting in the pool, we're getting wet. I'm not just dipping my toe in.
Well, okay.
Hands.
There we go.
Whoa.
Hang on.
But that's the aphrodisiac right there. Holding her hand, telling her, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
That works.
Holding her hand during sex, even better.
Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. There we go. Back
All
on
right.
Team Jeff.
Coming up. That didn't come from Jeff. That came from you. Back on Team Al.
But we're together.
We're men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're disgusting.
Two-man crew.
Coming up, Erica's face. Can we just look at Erica's face, please? Coming up on DBL from the brand new TLC show, Dr. Mercy. She's telling us all about her most interesting cases when it comes to dealing with unusual skin conditions.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
When their skin betrays them, they'll need some mercy, and that's who they call Dr. Mercy. Earlier, Tori and Erica chatted with the dermatologist about her new TLC show. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
The skin is a manifestation of what's going on internally. So a lot of what we do in dermatology is not just the skin that you're treating a person as a whole. I actually come with the philosophy that we're all brothers and sisters. If you come into a room to see me, you're automatically a family member.
Please welcome Dr. Mercy Odiembo to DBL. Hello, Doc.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We do want to, Dr. Mercy, most people wouldn't consider dermatology to be what you call like an emotional field, but that clip really showed you how raw it can make you feel because it's what people see. So why do you believe your services move people so much?
I really think that, just like you said, when you first meet a person, the first thing you see is their physical appearance and just what they look like. It's weird, like most people would rather fix something that they're struggling with physically before they even go into their doctor for like their blood pressure, their blood sugars, because that's the first thing that you see. That's what you're judged on. That's what people talk about.
We can see some of your patients and some of the examples that things that could really make someone feel like they can't be a part of society. So what is the craziest condition you've seen, and how do you know how to treat it?
No matter how big your clothing is, people still look at you. When you have all this like lumps and bumps or birthmark stains on your face, people stare. They think something is wrong. People act like you have a disease that's contagious. The patients didn't do anything to get this. It just happens to be that way. And that really is very sad for me. And I'm hoping the show can change people's perception of skin conditions.
I like that we're going more than skin deep. Now, some people can get weak stomachs with some of this stuff. Do you ever have that, or are you just doctor mode?
Oh no, I'm also human. No. In one of the episodes, you'll actually see me run into the bathroom throwing up because a patient grabbed her cyst and started playing with it. And my stomach couldn't take it anymore.
Erica.
Yep.
Well, it's good to know that you're human too, because sometimes I feel like maybe I'm just weak. Like I'm just super weak, you know?
Queasy. Just like you guys. I throw up. Just like you guys, I get sick sometimes.
Oh man. Understandable. Well, you say you treat the problem from the inside out. So what advice can you give to viewers at home who are struggling with skin conditions right now?
I think the best thing is find a board-certified dermatologist that can help you. For a lot of skin conditions, there's actually a cure or something to give you a better life. You can have a relationship with your kids, with your families. Most of my patients just stay at home because they don't want people to laugh at them or look at them. And we're here to change that.
Wow. What's your favorite part of the job?
Oh my goodness, talking to the patients. Connecting with people, I feel like it's a gift, it's a privilege to meet my patients. When they walk through my door, I take it as a privilege. Because one thing I've learned is if I just treat the patient's skin conditions, I'm only doing half of my job. So I try to really dig deep and find out what else is going on, what else can I help with, and that's what I enjoy the most.
It's just so great to know that there are people out there who are advocating and really helping us from the inside out, but making us shine on the outside.
Coolest name ever, Dr. Mercy. Love it. Her show, Dr. Mercy, premieres today on TLC. We can't wait to check it out. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Tomorrow on DBL, Chelsea Handler will be here live. She's in love for the first time in years, but who's the lucky guy? The famous fellow comedian at the center of all the romance rumors. Plus, Jana Kramer on life after a messy divorce, how she's moving on with new music. That's tomorrow on DBL. Welcome back to DBL. We are so excited to have Chelsea live on the show tomorrow. Okay, lots of comments. Jessica writes in, another great legal expert on today, Joey Jackson. I mean, that's someone you want defending you, right? And then we have Kevin, I can't wait to watch the TLC show. I'm weird, but find this stuff interesting. It's so funny. We were just all talking about that. It's either you like watching that type of stuff or you don't. Do you?
I can't watch I can't see the
thing is, I think that
the stuff.
That's what makes your show good. It's either you can't or you really love it, and that's the best way to get a cult following. My girl and my daughter will watch a marathon. So
our producer Michael Dean lives for it.
And Erica's never had a zit in her whole life.
Erica's face is flawless.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
I'm on proof.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Nicole Richie accidentally sets her hair on fire while blowing out birthday candles. What she's saying about the crazy moment. And Willie Garson gone too soon. How Sex and the City fans and co-stars are remembering the actor who played Stanford.
It's important that we have accurate information, so let's verify some fast facts about the flu. Our sources are this panel of health experts and top scientific organizations. First, let's answer this. Is there a best time to get the flu shot? Our experts say that the answer is yes. The best time to get the shot is before the end of October, because that's usually when flu season starts to pick up. Let's move on to our next question. Is it true that getting the flu shot can cause a positive COVID test? And this one is false. Here's how our experts explain it. The flu shot causes your body's immune system to make antibodies that protect you from influenza. Those antibodies are completely different from the ones that you would have if you were fighting COVID-19. And COVID tests look for genetic makeup unique to SARS-CoV-2, not the flu. Bottom line, having flu antibodies will not cause you to test positive for COVID-19. And let's move on to our last question. Can you get your flu shot and a COVID booster shot at the same time? Our experts say that there isn't a lot of research, but early data says that the answer is yes. Take it from Johns Hopkins professor, Dr. Anna Durbin.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another. It's unlikely that it's going to affect the immunogenicity or the protective effectiveness of either of these vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Erica, Jeff, and Al. Let's get started. So we do begin with some very sad news for fans of Sex and the City. Willie Garson, who played Stanford Blatch, passed away at the age of 57 after battling pancreatic cancer. Willie played Carrie Bradshaw's gay BFF on the television show, and in both of the Sex and the City movies, he was set to appear in the new HBO reboot. In the second film, he did marry, or he famously rather got married by Liza Minnelli. Take a look.
And now the brooms have written their own brooms.
Bride, groom, broom.
Oh, broom! Oh, that's marvelous.
Thank you, Liza Minnelli.
Wow. Willie's son, Nathan, paid tribute to his dad on Instagram, calling him the toughest, funniest, and smartest person he's ever known. And on Twitter, Kim Cattrall called his passing an incredible loss to the Sex and the City family. Cynthia Nixon said he was endlessly funny on screen and in real life. Kristen Davis said she and Willie bonded over being single parents of adopted kids. And his on-screen husband, Mario Cantone, said he was devastated and overwhelmed with sadness. Willie and Sarah Jessica Parker were lifelong friends, both on screen and off, and as of this taping, she has yet to post any messages on social media. This was a sudden passing, but he's been battling pancreatic cancer for some time. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, you know, and I got the alert, and I was like, oh no, not Stanny. You know, I think anyone who's a fan of the show felt that way. I do want to say something about Sarah Jessica Parker not posting, because a lot of people have pointed that out. And even though we're in a social media society, there still is a decorum. And when someone passes away, especially someone that you've had a lifelong relationship with, there is a list of things, of grieving process and people that you want to have a conversation with before you post to your followers. And I just want to remind people of that, especially in light of everything that's happened in the past year and a half. A lot of us have gone through a lot of loss, that there is decorum. Because for those of us who have found out about close passings of people from social media, it is never a great thing. So let her go through her process, and I'm sure she's going to have something very deep and profound to say.
When she's ready.
Right.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, beautifully said, Erica. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go to his family. Today is the first day of fall, and for many people, that means pumpkin carving and dressing up for Halloween. But talk show host James Corden recently confessed that he isn't a fan of the holiday. How can that be? Take a look.
Halloween, great for children, but it's just, I can't do it. Yeah, it's a joke. I dread it. I actually dread it. And the other thing I dread most is that people call it a holiday, which it isn't. If it was, we wouldn't have to come into work that day.
This is coming from the guy who loves Broadway, dressing up, and dresses like a mouse at stoplights.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah,
so you don't like dressing up, James?
I think Halloween hits both people. Adults like it. Obviously, kids like it. They were the originators. I feel like New Year's we can get rid of.
So you don't like New Year's?
No, I don't like. First of all, New Year's is different time zones. So you have friends calling you at 8 o'clock at night, like, and you're like, dude, it's not here for me yet. And then, it's just like it's a holiday to get drunk, and I'm like, that's what St. Patty's Day is for. So you do that on St. Patty's. I say, just like sports, we trade New Year's Eve for the day after the Super Bowl. Straight up, even trade, and make that a holiday.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Absolutely.
First of all, I live for every holiday, including New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I'm not getting wasted. I am saying goodbye to either a horrific year or a good year or the trials and tribulations that I've learned from that year. And then I wake up the next day and I manifest. Erica's the queen of manifestation, but what she is, I got to give it to Erica. But what holiday do you love or
Erica,
hate?
is that what you do on New Year's?
Don't use Erica to back up that statement.
Yeah, I wake up and manifest. People start drinking at 6 p.m.
Not me. I have 2 kids.
Okay. Yes, but I'm saying most
hands at 9:30 pretending it's.
Yeah, who would win as well that holiday?
Good neighbor as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Sam, I appreciate a good New Year's Day manifestation, but my New Year's Day starts with Mimosa Nation. I think that really, I agree with Al. The day after Super Bowl should absolutely be a holiday. I think anything that we call a holiday deserves a day off. And in fact, I'm going on record right now that henceforth and forevermore, since I am the official host of Super Bowl each year.
Yes, you are.
I am calling that Monday for myself a holiday.
Okay.
The day after Super Bowl, I will not be here from henceforth and forevermore.
Okay, Erica, you'll deserve it. What holiday do you hate?
Valentine's Day.
Why?
Get real. Get real with your stupid, overpriced flowers. Sorry, florists out there. And your fake cards that you didn't even write. Someone else wrote it, and you're going to give that to me?
Facts.
No. Get real.
Not facts.
Get
You can
real.
go to your garden and pick the most beautiful, fragrant flowers.
Gross.
And also, Sam, let's be real. If somebody did go to a garden, got real flowers, and wrote a card, they'd be like, this cheap dude.
That's not true.
He got me some garden flowers. No, let's be honest.
And we just steal them
People
from.
do check to see, like, oh, how much was that bouquet? What restaurant were you able to get into? He spent how much on the bracelet he got you?
Nope.
There is some monetary value associated with
holiday.
I'm not against it.
No?
I'm not against any holiday.
I'm not against getting rid of Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
We
I
are
can take it or leave it.
2-0.
Okay, first of all, everybody steps all over my birthday and calls it Valentine's Day.
True.
And then all of a sudden, I can't get a reservation at my favorite restaurant because y'all want to play, ooh, let's be special today. Can it? I got you.
I'm with Erica 100%.
Team America today.
All right. Let's get to Nicole Richie because she recently celebrated turning 40. Happy birthday. But she may have had too many candles on her cake, okay? She posted this video of her hair catching on fire as she went to blow out her candles. She captioned the post writing, so far, 40 is fire. Wow.
Yes.
She's lucky because this could have definitely not
I've seen
been
this.
a
I used to
laughing
work
matter.
in comedy clubs where they used to light candles, and this would happen from time to time. People leaning over trying to see the menu, and there is an unmistakable smell when somebody's hair goes up. But here's where I think they mess up at this birthday. I think 40-year-old and past that, you should switch from cake to cupcakes. Because cupcakes, you can have one uniform theme, but adults usually don't want a big piece of cake. You just want a little taste of cake. So like cupcakes have a nice display.
Don't be coming up in my birthday telling me if I should have a cake or a cupcake.
I think cupcakes are okay, well, let's go to the grocery store then.
I want a cake.
Yeah, you can print stuff on a cake. You can put a picture on a cake. You can't print stuff on a cupcake.
You can have a uniform theme of cupcakes, and then every adult knows how much cake they're eating.
Oh, great. So if Sophie's having a troll's birthday party, I'm going to have to...
Sophie, 40 years old? This is for 40-year-olds and up.
Okay, so if Erica's having her 41st birthday party and I want to have a really cool picture of Erica on the cake, how am I supposed to do that with cupcakes?
You can still decorate cupcakes. They'll just be a little like...
No, this is how you do it, Al. This is the way I do it. I have the cake because I get the same cake have ever since I was born. My mom would get me the same cake. Then you get the to-go cupcakes as party favors in the little jar.
Okay, Erica, I'm 44. I can't have cake and to-go cupcakes. I cannot control myself.
You do need
I don't
a to-go
need cake
cupcake.
to leave the place where I just had cake.
Yes.
I appreciate it, but I have no self-control.
Are you a cake or a cupcake guy?
I'm with my boy Al. Always.
Yeah, right, Jeffrey.
Always.
Yeah,
Listen, I just want a little. I'd rather eat more food than I'd rather eat dessert.
I don't buy it.
Food is the best.
I don't buy your. I like to reminisce on the first. You're hungover.
I absolutely am not.
Sam's the only person I believe is not.
Yeah, I absolutely am not.
You didn't buy my food
She's
thing. I'm telling you
concussed
the
from
truth.
banging pots all
I'm not
night.
a sweet guy. I'm a salty guy. I'd rather have cheese for dessert.
I do believe that with
Yes.
you. A charcuterie board, right?
Absolutely.
That's all Jeffrey. All right, coming up on DBL, a chilling true crime chronicle story about a serial killer who is sentenced to death. How the family of one of his victims is reacting to the news next.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and DBL is celebrating by bringing attention to those who have left their mark on Hispanic culture. Today, we honor rapper Cardi B.
Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose.
Born Belcalis Almanzar, she is the first person of Dominican descent to reach #1 in the history of the Hot 100. Aside from rap, she also focuses on political efforts, like the iconic Zoom call she had with President Joe Biden in August 2020.
And this is why it's important to have free Medicare.
Cardi B embraces her no-filter attitude and makes money doing it. Closed captioning provided by
All right, we didn't get to a story. Sam is very distraught because she loves Disneyland.
Yes.
She's going to double check. So there's a story about Jessica Rabbit, and she was too revealing. I guess there's a picture of her, on the ride.
Right.
So they put a trench coat on her and made her look like a detective, and that was our next story that we were going to talk about. But Sam's upset because she goes to Disneyland all the time and doesn't remember the ride.
I have a couple issues with this. One, isn't that body shaming? If we did a story about a student that was curvaceous and the principal walked up and made her put a trench coat on, we would be covering that story. And everybody in here would be like, oh.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And also, the trench coat almost is like, makes it sexy too, let's
Like
be
if
honest.
she had a leg sticking out of the trench coat?
Right, it's kind of, it's a thing
It's a
in our
little-
culture, let's be honest. So I don't know, I have issues
Our
with
show would be
this.
a lot different if it was just me and Al.
Erica, do you agree with me that if this was a real person, I hope you're not going to
I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry, y'all.
Got to go to work.
She's got to,
Well, you guys tell me if you agree with me.
I agree with you,
If
buddy.
this is a real person, would this be a problem?
Yes.
Don't be body shaming Jessica.
Welcome back to DBL. The killing fields are an area in South Texas where many unidentified serial killers disposed of their victims. For Friendswood, a community near those fields, their horror began with the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl. Here's the story of Laura Smither, the tiny dancer, in today's True Crime Chronicles.
everyone who knew Laura loved Laura. Her love was immediately with ballet.
On a gray and drizzling morning in April 1997, Laura Smither decides to go for a jog.
She had just gotten into the Houston Ballet Academy, and hundreds and hundreds of girls audition every year. She got in. Laura had just finished reading a book that had inspired her to start running, so she asked permission to go out for this run, and she had never, ever done that. That was the very first time.
Laura waves goodbye to her parents and promises to be home in time for breakfast. But as the minutes turn to hours, breakfast becomes cold on their plates.
And that's my life sentence. I have to live with that every day because I gave her permission to go out running and she didn't come home.
Her parents call the police.
We knew right away that something wasn't right.
Authorities begin a frantic search for Laura, fearing she has been abducted. More than 6,000 volunteers begin searching over 800 square miles.
Laura Kate Smither is described as 5'3", weighing 98 pounds, with long, dark brown curly hair and braces. The search is by air, by foot, and even by horseback. It seems as if the whole town is taking part.
As the hours turn to days, the days become weeks. Police find no trace of Laura, but her parents refuse to let go of the hope that she will find her way home.
She's coming home, and if she's out there and she can hear us, Laura, you find a way to find us and we will find you.
It's become a cliche that missing child is the worst nightmare, but it really is. When you have a child, you don't know where they are, and you have that momentary panic. I think every parent has at one point or time has experienced that and can relate to that. We'll take that experience and multiply it by 1,000.
Okay, about 3:45 today, we got a call from a man who was out here with his dog. He was out here training the dog for retrieval. He and his son, and the dog apparently found his body.
17 days after her abduction, Laura's remains are discovered.
It is the opinion of my department and its investigators and myself as its chief that the young woman found off Beltway 8 is Laura Kate Smither.
Investigators find little evidence, having been eroded by time and the elements, but they do determine that Laura was likely strangled. Little progress is made in Laura's case as investigators race to find the killer.
Quite a few months later, one of the reporters did an expose of all the missing girls. We had no idea that so many girls had gone missing in our area.
No one has a clue who could be responsible. They only know young women are vanishing. A serial killer is on the loose. However, when 19-year-old Sandra Sepaw is abducted at knife point, she astonishingly escapes. She identifies her abductor to police. William Reese, a part-time construction worker, is arrested for the kidnapping and rape of Sandra Sepaw. He becomes a person of interest in Laura's murder shortly after. Nonetheless, investigators fail to definitively connect Reese to any of the other murders in Friendswood, including Laura's, and her case goes cold.
William Reese was sentenced to 60 years in prison for the rape and abduction of Sandra Sepaw in 1998. 18 years later, he finally confessed to Laura's murder and even led investigators to the missing bodies of other victims. He is currently on death row awaiting execution for the murder of an Oklahoma woman. But the wounds he left on the Friendswood community and Laura's family cut deeper. Earlier, we invited Laura's mom to talk with us about her daughter. Here's what she had to say.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with what's important, and that's Laura. How would you like us to remember Laura?
Just that she was an extraordinary human being whose life was cut short by someone who had so little to contribute, and he took somebody's life who Laura had so much to contribute to the world, and she's not here to give all the gifts that she had to give.
Well, you went to Oklahoma for the trial of William Reese, so what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was brutal. Obviously, it reopened old wounds that, there's no such thing as closure. That's a made-up media word. There's no closure on love. So the best you get is a really thick scab. And for years, you live with that scab and you're okay. And every now and then you knock the scab and you bleed. And that's what it was like. I was bleeding again.
I wanted to ask, you said you forgive Reese. How? How are you able to?
My journey to forgiveness was through the sacrament of reconciliation, which my church offers. It's known more commonly as confession. Forgiveness is really for me. I forgive Reese, but it took me out of the angst and the terrible cage that I was in. It doesn't mean I condone or will ever forget, but it allows me to live in a more normal state.
Can you just tell us a little bit about your husband and how he's dealing with it all?
Bob definitely went inside, and he does not have a faith to cling to like I do. My faith is what got me through. I don't know, to be honest, how he does it, but he always says he goes to the Church of Brazospen State Park. He loves that park, and he communes with nature, and he releases his pain in that way. But it's a longer journey for him.
Thank you so much for talking with us, for personalizing this, for humanizing Laura.
Absolutely.
Your family will be in our thoughts and prayers. And for everyone watching at home, if you want to hear more about Laura, we covered her story and many others on our True Crime Chronicles podcast, available on any podcast player. Thank you again, Gay. We are thinking of Laura. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
To DBL, if Becky from Medicare is giving you a call, hang up on Becky. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. According to AARP, the robocaller claims to be a patient advocate named Becky and is offering a precautionary genetic cancer screening. If the caller says everyone qualifies for the test or that you shouldn't consult with your own doctor, no, that call is fake. If you receive a genetic testing kit in the mail, don't accept it unless your own doctor ordered it. Refuse the delivery or return it to the sender and keep a record of it. If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. What a bad situation. It's just weird to call her Becky, right?
I feel like she should use her government name for that call.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Makes it seem more.
I think so too.
No, they leave it on your thing. They're like, this is Becky. Like if you get a transcript on your phone, what? Don't answer it. I get a Mary all the time saying I didn't pay my taxes.
Rebecca seems way more credible.
Okay.
Just a friend.
We're getting the hard rap.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do they do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Conor McGregor may want to stick to fighting. The MMA star threw a wild first pitch at the Cubs game last night. Take a look. Whoa. Yep, it wasn't even close to the plate. When are you going to do this already, Jeff?
So we haven't even told anybody that I was going to do this. COVID, I was supposed to throw out the first pitch, and I didn't because of COVID, but it was my lifelong dream to do that. But it makes me nervous seeing Conor not be able to do it.
But you're going to practice. He should have taken his jacket off first and foremost.
Well, his equilibrium has got to be a little off by being jacked in the head so many times.
Hey, listen, I just think people underestimate it. They're like, I can throw a ball to the catcher, and then they get there, and it's a lot further than they think, and they panic, and they just try and use strength, and it goes in the stance.
I want to see you do it.
I want to see me do
in the
it
universe.
Yep. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's important that we have accurate information, so let's verify some fast facts about the flu. Our sources are this panel of health experts and top scientific organizations. First, let's answer this. Is there a best time to get the flu shot? Our experts say that the answer is yes. The best time to get the shot is before the end of October, because that's usually when flu season starts to pick up. Let's move on to our next question. Is it true that getting the flu shot can cause a positive COVID test? And this one is false. Here's how our experts explain it. The flu shot causes your body's immune system to make antibodies that protect you from influenza. Those antibodies are completely different from the ones that you would have if you were fighting COVID-19. And COVID tests look for genetic makeup unique to SARS-CoV-2, not the flu. Bottom line, having flu antibodies will not cause you to test positive for COVID-19. And let's move on to our last question. Can you get your flu shot and a COVID booster shot at the same time? Our experts say that there isn't a lot of research, but early data says that the answer is yes. Take it from Johns Hopkins professor, Dr. Anna Durbin.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another. It's unlikely that it's going to affect the immunogenicity or the protective effectiveness of either of these vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Gabby Petito's murder case continues to capture the country, but is missing white woman syndrome overshadowing other important missing person cases? In today's True Crime Chronicles, after 24 years, a serial killer is sentenced to death. Now the mother of one of his victims is speaking out.
It's become a cliche that missing child is the worst nightmare.
Remembering a beloved Sex and the City star gone too soon, how Willie Garson's role as Stanford is leaving a lasting impact. And from the brand new TLC show, Dr. Mercy.
In one of the episodes, you'll actually see me run into the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Y'all just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, September 22nd. I'm Sam here with Erica, Jeff, and Al. Let's get started. Very sad news to begin the day. The coroner in the case of Gabby Petito confirmed that the remains found at a campground in Wyoming are, in fact, her. The FBI announced the manner of death was a homicide, but no word yet on the cause of death. Meantime, the search for Gabby's fiance, Brian Laundrie, continues. The FBI is asking for the public's help in locating him. Brian has been missing for more than a week now, and I'm just reading our comments from our viewers. Everyone wants to know, where is Brian? But I do just want to preface, sometimes, I've covered a lot of these cases for HLN and CNN. Sometimes we forget the people involved, right? Because we're so stuck on where is Brian or what's happening here. We have to remember that, humanity here. A person has died and that her family is absolutely suffering. I'm sure Brian's family is suffering too for completely different reasons. What do you think? Where is Brian?
I do not know. I think that, people are speculating, is he dead? Is he alive? I think in a lot of these situations, as you mentioned, you've covered a lot of them. It wouldn't be surprising to me either way, especially because you hear of, people who have taken the lives of people who are very close to them. And there is this seemingly, I'll say narcissism, which seems like far too little of a word. But I don't know, Sam. I have no idea.
All right, so for more on this, we are joined by criminal defense attorney and the principal of Joey Jackson Law. Joey, it is so good to see you despite these horrific circumstances. Thank you for joining DBL. So where do we go from here?
You know, first of all, good to be with each and every one of you. Sad case indeed. That's a loaded question, Sam, for a number of reasons, but I'll tell you where I think we should go. Number one, right, we certainly need to find out where Mr. Laundrie is. That's significant. Why? Because he needs to be brought to justice. What does that mean? Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but something seems amiss here. So the first step is to find him. What's step number two? Step number two is to proceed as the investigators are proceeding with respect to that investigation. Process one in that investigation is to do that autopsy and determine the cause of death. Why is that relevant? Because that will allow investigators and police, Sam, to make a determination as to how she died, what specifically occurred. Step number three, then, of course, is you're going to not only look at the body, I know it's graphic, but you're going to look at the surrounding crime scene and where the body was found. Now, is it possible that she could have been brought there at some later time? Is it possible that the crime was not committed there? I say crime because it's been ruled a homicide. That means it's not natural causes, so I'm confident in saying a crime was committed, but they'll scour that scene indeed for any forensic analysis that would bring them to that approach of who did it. Then after that, they're going to be speaking to any eyewitnesses, not only as to the specific instances of the criminal act itself, but filling in the gaps. Did you see them at an earlier time? What was the interaction? What were they doing? How were they doing it? Summing this up, you're also going to look at all the digital blueprint that we've been looking at. You have a real cross-country trip. It is documented, hook, line, and sinker. Here's where we are. This is what we're doing. This is what's happening. And then that goes cold. So they'll look at that digital blueprint. That'll include text messages, any emails, any other information, and that will really get investigators to the point of really determining whether he was responsible, he being Mr. Laundrie, for her death.
So, Joey, I'm curious, and I think our DBL Nation is as well. Now that we know this is a homicide, why hasn't Brian been charged with a crime?
So, you know, he could very well have been, right? And I say that, and all of you saying, well, wait a second, we haven't heard about anything about criminality as to him. He hasn't been named a suspect. He's not a defendant in the case. I would suspect and anticipate that investigators, in conjunction with prosecutors, have delineated what specific charges they think are appropriate and viable here. I would also suspect that if they've done that, it's possible that there are charges pending, but that they're what we call, as lawyers, under seal. That means that they're not for you, I, or anyone else to know. It's for investigators to know. Remember this also. When we talk about charges, people could say, well, we don't know if he did it. We have no direct evidence. We're not sure. You don't need any of that. What you need is two things. Reason to believe a crime was committed, number one, and number two, reason to believe that Mr. Laundrie committed it. That's what we call probable cause. You don't have to wait to arrest someone until you've determined to a scientific certainty it was them. You need probable cause to arrest. Once you do that, you continue to build your case so that you as a prosecutor can make an assessment and determination as to whether you can prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. I think if they find him, we're going to see charges virtually immediately.
So, Joey, there's a big difference between arresting someone and arguing he did it. So what do you think of the evidence in this case, and is it enough for a conviction?
So, great question. And obviously, listen, I'm a defense attorney, and so I believe in the presumption of innocence. I believe everybody should have their day in court. I believe everyone is entitled to the most vigorous defense, right? We have people in jail who shouldn't be in jail. That's a travesty. Having said that, there's so much circumstantial evidence here. Oftentimes, crimes are not committed in the light of day. They're not committed in major cities during the light of day where you have surveillance and you have 10 eyewitnesses. So what does that mean? It means you have to piece them together. That means that unlike those cases where you have direct evidence indicating, yes, I saw her do it, I saw him do it, I saw A, B, C, and D. In many instances, you don't have that. Prosecutors have to piece together circumstantial evidence. Brief moment of pause. What does that mean? Well, if I came in here before I had the pleasure of speaking with all of you, and it was really sunny outside, but then when I left to get some lunch or coffee after this conversation, it was wet everywhere. Cars were wet, but it wasn't raining. What can I reasonably presume? I could presume it rained while we were having this discussion. Circumstantial evidence is powerful, and they have that here. Like what? You went on a cross cross-country trip. You did that in June. You documented everywhere you went, all the places, who the people you were with, what food you were eating, what exactly you were doing. You were keeping in touch with your family, and then you weren't doing it. And guess what happens after that? After that, you go home, Mr. Laundrie, and Miss Petito is missing. And then there's a determination that not only is she missing, but she's dead. And you're a guy who is in the wind. So let me ask you the question. Why would you run if you had nothing to do with it? We call that consciousness of guilt. Now, to be clear, there's an autopsy that has to be performed. There's a lot of evidence that needs to be gathered. You know, he's entitled to his day in court. He'll be vigorously defended. But that circumstantial evidence, buttoning this all up, looks an awful lot like rain to me. And as a result of that, that's what you prove in a court of law as to guilt. Final point. We don't have all the evidence and information here by far. We don't have evidence that exonerates him, meaning tends to show that he's innocent. We don't have all the evidence that tends to show that he's guilty. But from what I see, you certainly have the probable cause. We'll see what happens in a court of law if we get that far, provided that he's safe and okay and didn't do something harmful to himself if or when they find him.
All right, Joey, I want to talk about Brian's parents, because if he came back and confessed anything, do they have an obligation to say something, or are they protected in any way because he's their son?
So, you know, great question. So what it comes down to is this. We know, all of us, that you have something called a spousal privilege. And what that means is that, you know, pillow talk is protected. In the event, for example, you told your spouse anything, either party, husband tells wife, wife tells husband, that's protected. It cannot see the light of day again. No one has to know about it. And it cannot be admitted in a court of law, right? Unless there's some exception or waiver and say, I want to testify, says one spouse, but it's protected. That does not extend to parents. It does not extend to children. So there is no privilege. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that parents have to be cooperative. It doesn't mean that we could expect or have them come forward and say, my son told me this and he told me that. But what it does mean, right, is in the event investigators investigate, and let's say, for example, the parents lie. Let's say, for example, they make misrepresentations. Let's say, for example, they were told information and they spoke and they weren't forthcoming about it. That's what we call hindering prosecution. That's what we call obstruction of justice. That's what we call a crime. Buttoning this up. You don't have any obligation, if you're the parents, to go singing like a canary about your child. But in the event you say something and it is false or misleading, now that becomes problematic, and now you get yourself embroiled in criminal activity, which is why all of us defense attorneys say, do not say a word. But I guarantee you they'll be subpoenaed and they'll be asked an awful lot of questions moving forward.
Wow. Joey Jackson, thank you. You are a wealth of information. Thank you for your clarity. We appreciate you joining us here on DBL. Thank you, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Great to be with all of you. Have a great day.
You
God
too.
bless.
We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
Okay. That was
That guy was
Attorney
a
Joey Jackson.
Snapple cap full of information.
Honestly, like, as he was talking, I was like, oh, this is why you pay for a good attorney.
Yeah,
This is
just the way
why,
he talks, yeah.
I feel like any court case I'm going into, I'm in good hands with Joey.
But he breaks it down and explains why, like technically, because we all kind of have like the same idea or questions, but he really breaks it down for you.
Right. Like, I never understood, like when you were allowed to testify against your spouse and when you weren't. Like, and I was curious as to what obligation do the parents have, because, like, most parents are not going to tell their kids. Some people call the police on their kids, but I didn't know what obligation they had. So there's so many different things legally. And when we first started talking about this case, I was like, I literally do not understand the law. I understand law and order, TV law, but I don't understand, like, when you're forced to speak, how they obtain warrants. Why was he allowed to go home and then seemingly leave if he did go home? Like, I just wasn't understanding.
I think they're keeping a lot of, I wanted to ask him, but we ran out of time, but like a lot of stuff close to the vest, right? They don't want to show their cards. They want to make sure if he did do it, which it seems like he did, allegedly, they don't want to get off on a technicality. They want to make sure he's convicted.
The investigators, I believe, know where he is, or are very close to finding where he is, but they're not going to say it because they want him to stay put.
I believe
any day now,
too.
we're going to have an arrest, or they're going to know what happened to him. So.
Yeah. And then he'll go to jail, and he'll
If
have
he's alive.
4 girlfriends in there.
Yeah, and he'll probably have a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such
and
a
a
weird
Netflix
thing.
special in 10
The
years.
guy that killed his family in Colorado, not too far from here, he's got a girlfriend, and I think I have a kid on the way.
You mean the man
Okay.
who put his
Thank
kids
you,
in a
Chris.
barrel?
Yeah.
And his wife? Yeah.
He's dating.
Good for him.
He's
I'm glad.
dating.
I'm glad he's
How is that? Like, who,
Dude, that's
made,
what
who was
sickens
like,
me.
you know what, this guy needs to have a girlfriend? Like, I don't understand.
And how it's allowed and who is that person?
I don't understand, you know. Again.
Tori Schulman, Al Jackson, Erica Cobb, Jeff Schroeder, Sam Shocker. This is my show, baby. Celebrating our 5th year and going strong, DBL is always all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. So Kelly Ripa's husband, Mark Consuelos, knows how to keep the peace at home. Smart guy. Kelly recently revealed on her show how Mark likes to settle any issues that come up in their relationship a specific way. Watch.
He would have been like, oh, you're upset? I know how to take care of that. Oh, you don't feel good about something? I'll take care of that. Oh, you're feeling like maybe you're overworked? I got you. I know what you need. Because everything for Mark is settled with, love and sexy time.
What, you're laughing. What do you think about this?
I agree.
Really?
Not everything. She said everything. Not everything. But if you're fighting about something stupid, you're arguing about this or that, you know.
I feel like most healthy relationships, your arguments are over something kind of silly. They're not over like, whose underwear are these? Like, they're more like, hey, you said you were going to. That's serious. Like,
oh, you mean
yeah, I'm saying it's like,
gotcha,
hey, you said you were going to pick the dry cleaning up, and you didn't. So if you add up the course of your relationship, all the silly fights, that's a lot of time. If you can mitigate that and remove some of that and replace some of that fight time with sexy time, why wouldn't you do that? Why? You'll talk better after sex anyway.
Erica?
I'm just so shocked that the two men on the panel would say that, of course, it just cures everything.
I didn't say cures. Hey, my wife brings me coffee sometimes in the morning.
Oh, and
so
now
it's
this
not
is a really great opportunity to tell you how great I cure it. I get coffee afterward. I think that a lot of times for women, it's such a mental block when there's something going on that ain't quite right. So I don't know if going to the bedroom is really the cure for or end all be all.
Yeah, when I'm in a fight with my husband, I don't want to be near him. I need my space, and Mark needs his space too. So this does not apply in our relationship at all. I did look at the psychology of it because none of us are clinicians, and the clinicians out there say that yes, intimacy is very, very vital in a relationship, but you don't want to substitute, AKA put a Band-Aid on the thousands of issues that you may not be dealing with by just turning to sex. So I think that's important too.
I will say this, and one thing that I did learn, I know we're joking around a little bit, but in couples therapy, they said if you take a break and then when you come back, just hold each other's hand while you talk.
I love that.
And that it just like the physical touch.
Yes.
Jeff's out, but the physical touch does help, like when you were communicating, like this is how I felt. Do you hear me? And then repeat back what they just said.
That could put you in the
If
mood.
we're getting in the pool, we're getting wet. I'm not just dipping my toe in.
Well, okay.
Hands.
There we go.
Whoa.
Hang on.
But that's the aphrodisiac right there. Holding her hand, telling her, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
That works.
Holding her hand during sex, even better.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go. Back
All
on
right.
Team Jeff.
Coming up. That didn't come from Jeff. That came from you. Back on Team Al.
But we're together.
We're men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're disgusting.
Two-man crew.
Coming up, Erica's face. Can we just look at Erica's face, please? Coming up on DBL from the brand new TLC show, Dr. Mercy. She's telling us all about her most interesting cases when it comes to dealing with unusual skin conditions.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
When their skin betrays them, they'll need some mercy, and that's who they call Dr. Mercy. Earlier, Tori and Erica chatted with the dermatologist about her new TLC show. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
The skin is a manifestation of what's going on internally. So a lot of what we do in dermatology is not just the skin that you're treating a person as a whole. I actually come with the philosophy that we're all brothers and sisters. If you come into a room to see me, you're automatically a family member.
Please welcome Dr. Mercy Odhiambo to DBL. Hello, Doc.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We do want to, Dr. Mercy, most people wouldn't consider dermatology to be what you call like an emotional field, but that clip really showed you how raw it can make you feel because it's what people see. So why do you believe your services move people so much?
I really think that, just like you said, when you first meet a person, the first thing you see is their physical appearance and just what they look like. It's weird, like most people would rather fix something that they're struggling with physically before they even go into their doctor for like their blood pressure, their blood sugars, because that's the first thing that you see. That's what you're judged on. That's what people talk about.
We can see some of your patients and some of the examples that things that could really make someone feel like they can't be a part of society. So what is the craziest condition you've seen, and how do you know how to treat it?
No matter how big your clothing is, people still look at you. When you have all this like lumps and bumps or birthmark stains on your face, people stare. They think something is wrong. People act like you have a disease that's contagious. The patients didn't do anything to get this. It just happens to be that way. And that really is very sad for me. And I'm hoping the show can change people's perception of skin conditions.
I like that we're going more than skin deep. Now, some people can get weak stomachs with some of this stuff. Do you ever have that, or are you just doctor mode?
Oh no, I'm also human. No. In one of the episodes, you'll actually see me run into the bathroom throwing up because a patient grabbed her cyst and started playing with it. And my stomach couldn't take it anymore.
Erica.
Yep.
Well, it's good to know that you're human too, because sometimes I feel like maybe I'm just weak. Like I'm just super weak, you know?
Queasy. Just like you guys. Yeah. I throw up. Just like you guys, I get sick sometimes.
Oh man. Understandable. Well, you say you treat the problem from the inside out. So what advice can you give to viewers at home who are struggling with skin conditions right now?
I think the best thing is find a board-certified dermatologist that can help you. For a lot of skin conditions, there's actually a cure or something to give you a better life. You can have a relationship with your kids, with your families. Most of my patients just stay at home because they don't want people to laugh at them or look at them. And we're here to change that.
Wow. What's your favorite part of the job?
Oh my goodness, talking to the patients. connecting with people. I feel like it's a gift, it's a privilege to meet my patients. When they walk through my door, I take it as a privilege. Because one thing I've learned is if I just treat the patient's skin conditions, I'm only doing half of my job. So I try to really dig deep and find out what else is going on, what else can I help with, and that's what I enjoy the most.
It's just so great to know that there are people out there who are advocating and really helping us from the inside out, but making us shine on the outside.
Coolest name ever, Dr. Mercy. Love it. Her show, Dr. Mercy, premieres today on TLC. We can't wait to check it out. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do they do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Tomorrow on DBL, Chelsea Handler will be here live. She's in love for the first time in years, but who's the lucky guy? The famous fellow comedian at the center of all the romance rumors. Plus, Jana Kramer on life after a messy divorce, how she's moving on with new music. That's tomorrow on DBL.
Welcome back to DBL. We are so excited to have Chelsea live on the show tomorrow. Okay, lots of comments. Jessica writes in, another great legal expert on today, Joey Jackson. I mean, that's someone you want defending you, right? And then we have Kevin, I can't wait to watch the TLC show. I'm weird, but find this stuff interesting. It's so funny. We were just all talking about that. It's either you like watching that type of stuff or you don't. Do you?
I can't watch I can't see the
thing is, I think that
the stuff.
That's what makes your show good. It's either you can't or you really love it, and that's the best way to get a cult following. My girl and my daughter will watch a marathon. So
our producer Michael Dean lives for it.
And Erica's never had a zit in her whole life.
Erica's face is flawless.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
I'm on proof.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Nicole Richie accidentally sets her hair on fire while blowing out birthday candles. What she's saying about the crazy moment. And Willie Garson gone too soon. How Sex and the City fans and co-stars are remembering the actor who played Stanford.
It's important that we have accurate information, so let's verify some fast facts about the flu. Our sources are this panel of health experts and top scientific organizations. First, let's answer this. Is there a best time to get the flu shot? Our experts say that the answer is yes. The best time to get the shot is before the end of October, because that's usually when flu season starts to pick up. Let's move on to our next question. Is it true that getting the flu shot can cause a positive COVID test? And this one is false. Here's how our experts explain it. The flu shot causes your body's immune system to make antibodies that protect you from influenza. Those antibodies are completely different from the ones that you would have if you were fighting COVID-19. And COVID tests look for genetic makeup unique to SARS-CoV-2, not the flu. Bottom line, having flu antibodies will not cause you to test positive for COVID-19. And let's move on to our last question. Can you get your flu shot and a COVID booster shot at the same time? Our experts say that there isn't a lot of research, but early data says that the answer is yes. Take it from Johns Hopkins professor, Dr. Anna Durbin.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another. It's unlikely that it's going to affect the immunogenicity or the protective effectiveness of either of these vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Erica, Jeff, and Al. Let's get started. So we do begin with some very sad news for fans of Sex and the City. Willie Garson, who played Stanford Blatch, passed away at the age of 57 after battling pancreatic cancer. Willie played Carrie Bradshaw's gay BFF on the television show, and in both of the Sex and the City movies, he was set to appear in the new HBO reboot. In the second film, he did marry, or he famously rather got married by Liza Minnelli. Take a look.
And now the brooms have written their own brooms.
Bride, groom, broom.
Oh, broom! Oh, that's marvelous.
Thank you, Liza Minnelli.
Wow. Willie's son, Nathan, paid tribute to his dad on Instagram, calling him the toughest, funniest, and smartest person he's ever known. And on Twitter, Kim Cattrall called his passing an incredible loss to the Sex and the City family. Cynthia Nixon said he was endlessly funny on screen and in real life. Kristen Davis said she and Willie bonded over being single parents of adopted kids. And his on-screen husband, Mario Cantone, said he was devastated and overwhelmed with sadness. Willie and Sarah Jessica Parker Shocker were lifelong friends, both on screen and off. And as of this taping, she has yet to post any messages on social media. This was a sudden passing, but he's been battling pancreatic cancer for some time. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, you know, and I got the alert and I was like, oh no, not Stanny. You know, I think anyone who's a fan of the show felt that way. I do want to say something about Sarah Jessica Parker not posting, because a lot of people have pointed that out. And even though we're in a social media society, there still is a decorum. And when someone passes away, especially someone that you've had a lifelong relationship with, there is a list of things, of grieving process and people that you want to have a conversation with before you post to your followers. And I just want to remind people of that, especially in light of everything that's happened in the past year and a half. A lot of us have gone through a lot of loss, that there is decorum. Because for those of us who have found out about close passings of people from social media, it is never a great thing. So let her go through her process, and I'm sure she's going to have something very deep and profound to say.
When she's ready.
Right.
Glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, beautifully said, Erica. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go to his family. Today is the first day of fall, and for many people, that means pumpkin carving and dressing up for Halloween. But talk show host James Corden recently confessed that he isn't a fan of the holiday. How can that be? Take a look.
Halloween, great for children, but it's just, I can't do it. Yeah, it's a joke. I dread it. I actually dread it. And the other thing I dread most is that people call it a holiday, which it isn't. If it was, we wouldn't have to come into work that day.
This is coming from the guy who loves Broadway, dressing up, and dresses like a mouse at stoplights.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah,
so you don't like dressing up, James?
I think Halloween hits both people. Adults like it. Obviously, kids like it. They were the originators. I feel like New Year's we can get rid of.
So you don't like New Year's?
No, I don't like. First of all, New Year's is different time zones. So you have friends calling you at 8 o'clock at night, like, and you're like, dude, it's not here for me yet. And then, you know, it's just like it's a holiday to get drunk, and I'm like, that's what St. Patty's Day is for. So you do that on St. Patty's. I say, just like sports, we trade New Year's Eve for the day after the Super Bowl. Straight up, even trade, and make that a holiday.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Absolutely.
First of all, I live for every holiday, including New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I'm not getting wasted. I am saying goodbye to either a horrific year or a good year or the trials and tribulations that I've learned from that year. And then I wake up the next day and I manifest. Erica's the queen of manifestation, but what she is, I got to give it to Erica. But what holiday do you love or
Erica,
hate?
is that what you do on New Year's?
Don't use Erica to back up that statement.
Yeah, I wake up and manifest. People start drinking at 6 p.m.
Not me. I have 2 kids.
Okay. Yes,
but I'm saying pans at 9:30 pretending it's.
Yeah, who would win as well that holiday?
Good neighbor as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Sam, I appreciate a good New Year's Day manifestation, but my New Year's Day starts with Mimosa Nation. I think that really, I agree with Al. The day after Super Bowl should absolutely be a holiday. I think anything that we call a holiday deserves a day off. And in fact, I'm going on record right now that henceforth and forevermore, since I am the official host of Super Bowl each year.
Yes, you are.
I am calling that Monday for myself a holiday.
Okay.
The day after Super Bowl, I will not be here from henceforth and forevermore.
Okay, Erica, you'll deserve it. What holiday do you hate?
Valentine's Day.
Why?
Get real. Get real with your stupid, overpriced flowers. Sorry, florists out there. And your fake cards that you didn't even write. Someone else wrote it, and you're going to give that to me?
Facts.
No. Get real.
Not facts.
Get
You can
real.
go to your garden and pick the most beautiful, fragrant flowers.
Gross.
And also, Sam, let's be real. If somebody did go to a garden, got real flowers, and wrote a card, they'd be like, this cheap dude.
That's not true.
He got me some garden flowers. No, let's be honest.
Where would you steal them
People
from?
do check to see, like, oh, how much was that bouquet? What restaurant were you able to get into? He spent how much on the bracelet he got you?
Nope.
There is some monetary value associated with
holiday.
I'm not against it.
No?
I'm not against any holiday.
I'm not against getting rid of Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
We are 2-0.
Okay, first of all, everybody steps all over my birthday and calls it Valentine's Day.
True.
And then all of a sudden, I can't get a reservation at my favorite restaurant because y'all want to play, ooh, let's be special today.
can it. I got you.
I'm with Erica 100%.
Team Erica today.
All right, let's get to Nicole Richie because she recently celebrated turning 40. Happy birthday, but she may have had too many candles on her cake, okay? She posted this video of her hair catching on fire as she went to blow out her candles. She captioned the post writing, "So far, 40 is fire." Wow.
Yes.
She's lucky because this could have definitely not.
I've seen
been
this.
a
I used to
laughing
work in
matter.
comedy clubs where they used to light candles, and this would happen from time to time. People leaning over trying to see the menu, and there's an unmistakable smell when somebody's hair goes up. But here's where I think they messed up at this birthday. I think 40-year-old and past that, you should switch from cake to cupcakes. Because cupcakes, you can have one uniform theme, but adults usually don't want a big piece of cake. You just want a little taste of cake. So like cupcakes have a nice display.
Don't be coming up in my birthday telling me if I should have a cake or a cupcake.
I think cupcakes are okay, well, let's go to the grocery store then.
I want a cake.
Yeah, you can print stuff on a cake. You can put a picture on a cake. You can't print stuff on a cupcake.
You can have a uniform theme of cupcakes, and then every adult knows how much cake they're eating.
Oh, great. So if Sophie's having a Troll's birthday party, I'm going to have to...
Sophie, 40 years old? This is for 40-year-olds and up.
Okay, so if Erica's having her 41st birthday party and I want to have a really cool picture of Erica on the cake, how am I supposed to do that with cupcakes?
You can still decorate cupcakes. They'll just be a little like...
No, this is how you do it, Al. This is the way I do it. I have the cake because I get the same cake ever since I was born. My mom would get me the same cake. Then you get the to-go cupcakes as party favors in the little jar.
Oh.
Okay, Erica, I'm 44. I can't have cake and to-go cupcakes. I cannot control myself.
You do need
I don't need cake
cupcake.
to leave the place where I just had cake.
Yes.
I appreciate it, but I have no self-control.
Are you a cake or a cupcake guy?
I'm with my boy Al. Always.
Yeah, right, Jeffrey.
Always.
Yeah, right.
Listen, I just want a little. I'd rather eat more food than I'd rather eat dessert.
I don't buy it.
Food is the best.
I don't buy your. I like to reminisce on the first. You're hungover.
I absolutely am not.
Sam's the only person I believe is not.
Yeah, I absolutely am not.
You didn't buy my food
She's
thing. I'm telling you
concussed
the
from
truth.
banging pots all
I'm not
night.
a sweet guy. I'm a salty guy. I'd rather have cheese for dessert.
I do believe that with
Yes.
you. A charcuterie board, right?
Absolutely.
That's all Jeffrey. All right, coming up on DBL, a chilling true crime chronicle story about a serial killer who is sentenced to death. How the family of one of his victims is reacting to the news next.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and DBL is celebrating by bringing attention to those who have left their mark on Hispanic culture. Today, we honor rapper Cardi B.
Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose.
Born Belcalis Almanzar, she is the first person of Dominican descent to reach #1 in the history of the Hot 100. Aside from rap, she also focuses on political efforts, like the iconic Zoom call she had with President Joe Biden in August 2020.
And this is why it's important to have free Medicare.
Cardi B embraces her no-filter attitude and makes money doing it. Closed captioning provided by...
All right, we didn't get to a story. Sam is very distraught because she loves Disneyland.
Yes.
She's going to double check. So there's a story about Jessica Rabbit, and she was too revealing. I guess there's a picture of her, on the ride.
Right.
So they put a trench coat on her and made her look like a detective, and that was our next story that we were going to talk about. But Sam's upset because she goes to Disneyland all the time and doesn't remember the ride.
I have a couple issues with this. One, isn't that body shaming? If we did a story about a student that was curvaceous and the principal walked up and made her put a trench coat on, we would be covering that story. And everybody in here would be like, oh.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And also, the trench coat almost is like, makes it sexy too, let's be
Like
honest.
if she had a leg sticking out of the trench coat?
Right, it's kind of, it's a thing in our culture, let's be honest. So I don't know, I have issues
Our
with
show would be
this.
a lot different if it was just me and Al.
Erica, do you agree with me that if this was a real person, I hope you're not going to
I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry, y'all.
Got to go to work.
She's got to,
Well, you guys tell me if you agree with me.
I agree with you,
If
buddy.
this is a real person, would this be a problem?
Yes.
Don't be body shaming Jessica.
Tori Schulman, Al Jackson, Erica Cobb, Jeff Schroeder, Sam Shocker.
This is my show, baby.
Celebrating our 5th year and going strong, DBL is always all new every day. Everyone is talking about DBL. And year 5 is going to be big.
I cannot wait.
Bold debates.
You're canceling people.
That says a lot.
Hot celebs.
Look, we treat everything as a joke.
Thank you very much, Sean Stamos.
Just turn up the notch on that. Enjoy.
And all the laughs.
Awesome. I love it. Let's do it. Yes.
DBL is always all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. The killing fields are an area in South Texas where many unidentified serial killers disposed of their victims. For Friendswood, a community near those fields, their horror began with the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl. Here's the story of Laura Smither, the tiny dancer, in today's True Crime Chronicles.
Everyone who knew Laura loved Laura. Her love was immediately with ballet.
On a gray and drizzling morning in April 1997, Laura Smither decides to go for a jog.
She had just gotten into the Houston Ballet Academy, and hundreds and hundreds of girls audition every year. She got in. Laura had just finished reading a book that had inspired her to start running, so she asked permission to go out for this run, and she had never, ever done that. That was the very first time.
Laura waves goodbye to her parents and promises to be home in time for breakfast. But as the minutes turn to hours, breakfast becomes cold on their plates.
And that's my life sentence. I have to live with that every day, because I gave her permission to go out running, and she didn't come home.
Her parents call the police.
We knew right away that something wasn't right.
Authorities begin a frantic search for Laura, fearing she has been abducted. More than 6,000 volunteers begin searching over 800 square miles.
Laura Kate Smither is described as 5'3", weighing 98 pounds, with long, dark brown curly hair and braces. The search is by air, by foot, and even by horseback. It seems as if the whole town is taking part.
As the hours turn to days, the days become weeks. Police find no trace of Laura, but her parents refuse to let go of the hope that she will find her way home.
She's coming home, and if she's out there and she can hear us, Laura, you find a way to find us, and we will find you.
It's become a cliche that missing child is the worst nightmare, but it really is. When you have a child and you don't know where they are, and you have that momentary panic, I think every parent has at one point or time has experienced that and can relate to that. We'll take that experience and multiply it by 1,000.
Okay, about 3:45 today, we got a call from a man who was out here with his dog. He was out here training the dog for retrieval. He and his son, and the dog apparently found his body.
17 days after her abduction, Laura's remains are discovered.
It is the opinion of my department and its investigators and myself as its chief that the young woman found off Beltway 8 is Laura Kate Smither.
Investigators find little evidence, having been eroded by time and the elements, but they do determine that Laura was likely strangled. Little progress is made in Laura's case as investigators race to find the killer.
Quite a few months later, one of the reporters did an expose of all the missing girls. We had no idea that so many girls had gone missing in our area.
No one has a clue who could be responsible. They only know young women are vanishing. A serial killer is on the loose. However, when 19-year-old Sandra Sepaw is abducted at knife point, she astonishingly escapes. She identifies her abductor to police. William Reese A part-time construction worker is arrested for the kidnapping and rape of Sandra Sepaw. He becomes a person of interest in Laura's murder shortly after. Nonetheless, investigators fail to definitively connect Reese to any of the other murders in Friendswood, including Laura's, and her case goes cold.
William Reese was sentenced to 60 years in prison for the rape and abduction of Sandra Sepaw in 1998. 18 years later, he finally confessed to Laura's murder and even led investigators to the missing bodies of other victims. He is currently on death row awaiting execution for the murder of an Oklahoma woman. But the wounds he left on the Friendswood community and Laura's family cut deeper. Earlier, we invited Laura's mom to talk with us about her daughter. Here's what she had to say.
Gay, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with what's important, and that's Laura. How would you like us to remember Laura?
Just that she was an extraordinary human being whose life was cut short by someone who had so little to contribute, and he took somebody's life who Laura had so much to contribute to the world, and she's not here to give all the gifts that she had to give.
Well, you went to Oklahoma for the trial of William Reese, so what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was brutal. Obviously, it reopened old wounds that, there's no such thing as closure. That's a made-up media word. There's no closure on love. So the best you get is a really thick scab. And for years you live with that scab and you're okay. And every now and then you knock the scab and you bleed. And that's what it was like. I was bleeding again.
I wanted to ask, you said you forgive Reese. How? How are you able to?
My journey to forgiveness was through the sacrament of reconciliation, which my church offers. It's known more commonly as confession. Forgiveness is really for me. I forgive Reese, but it took me out of the angst and the terrible cage that I was in. It doesn't mean I condone or will ever forget, but it allows me to live in a more normal state.
Can you just tell us a little bit about your husband and how he's dealing with it all?
Bob definitely went inside, and he does not have a faith to cling to like I do. My faith is what got me through. I don't know, to be honest, how he does it, but he always says he goes to the Church of Brazos Bend State Park. He loves that park, and he communes with nature, and he releases his pain in that way. But it's a longer journey for him.
Thank you so much for talking with us, for personalizing this, for humanizing Laura.
Absolutely.
Your family will be in our thoughts and prayers. And for everyone watching at home, if you want to hear more about Laura, we covered her story and many others on our True Crime Chronicles podcast, available on any podcast player. Thank you again, Gay. We are thinking of Laura. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We all know that
Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
To DBL, if Becky from Medicare is giving you a call, hang up on Becky. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. According to AARP, the robocaller claims to be a patient advocate named Becky and is offering a precautionary genetic cancer screening. If the caller says everyone qualifies for the test or that you shouldn't consult with your own doctor, no, that call is fake. If you receive a genetic testing kit in the mail, don't accept it unless your own doctor ordered it. Refuse the delivery or return it to the sender and keep a record of it. If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. What a bad situation. It's just weird to call her Becky, right?
I feel like she should use her government name for that call.
Yeah, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Makes it seem more.
I think so too.
No, they leave it on your thing. They're like, this is Becky. Like if you get a transcript on your phone, what? Don't answer it. I get a Mary all the time saying I didn't pay my taxes.
Rebecca seems way more credible.
Okay.
Just a friend.
We're getting the hard rap.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
Nothing.
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Conor McGregor may want to stick to fighting. The MMA star threw a wild first pitch at the Cubs game last night. Take a look. Whoa. Yep, it wasn't even close to the plate. When are you going to do this already, Jeff?
So we haven't even told anybody that I was going to do this. COVID, I was supposed to throw out the first pitch, and I didn't because of COVID, but it was my lifelong dream to do that. But it makes me nervous seeing Conor not be able to do it.
But you're going to practice. He should have taken his jacket off first and foremost.
Well, his equilibrium has got to be a little off by being jacked in the head so many times.
I get. Hey, listen. I just think people underestimate it. They're like, I can throw a ball to the catcher, and then they get there, and it's a lot further than they think, and they panic, and they just try and use strength, and it goes in the stands.
I want to see you do it.
I want to see me do
in the
it
universe.
Yep. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's important that we have accurate information, so let's verify some fast facts about the flu. Our sources are this panel of health experts and top scientific organizations. First, let's answer this. Is there a best time to get the flu shot? Our experts say that the answer is yes. The best time to get the shot is before the end of October, because that's usually when flu season starts to pick up. Let's move on to our next question. Is it true that getting the flu shot can cause a positive COVID test? And this one is false. Here's how our experts explain it. The flu shot causes your body's immune system to make antibodies that protect you from influenza. Those antibodies are completely different from the ones that you would have if you were fighting COVID-19. And COVID tests look for genetic makeup unique to SARS-CoV-2, not the flu. Bottom line, having flu antibodies will not cause you to test positive for COVID-19. And let's move on to our last question. Can you get your flu shot and a COVID booster shot at the same time? Our experts say that there isn't a lot of research, but early data says that the answer is yes. Take it from Johns Hopkins professor, Dr. Anna Durbin.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another. It's unlikely that it's going to affect the immunogenicity or the protective effectiveness of either of these vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozloff.
What we're talking about today on Daily Blast Live.
Gabby Petito's murder case continues to capture the country, but is missing white woman syndrome overshadowing other important missing person cases? In today's True Crime Chronicles, after 24 years, a serial killer is sentenced to death. Now the mother of one of his victims is speaking out.
It's become a cliche that missing child is the worst nightmare.
Remembering a beloved Sex and the City star gone too soon, how Willie Garson's role as Stanford is leaving a lasting impact. And from the brand new TLC show, Dr. Mercy.
In one of the episodes, you'll actually see me run into the bathroom.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll. Welcome to DBL. It is Wednesday, September 22nd. I'm Sam here with Erica, Jeff, and Al. Let's get started. Very sad news to begin the day. The coroner in the case of Gabby Petito confirmed that the remains found at a campground in Wyoming are, in fact, her. The FBI announced the manner of death was a homicide, but no word yet on the cause of death. Meantime, the search for Gabby's fiance, Brian Laundrie, continues. The FBI is asking for the public's help in locating him. Brian has been missing for more than a week now, and I'm just reading our comments from our viewers. Everyone wants to know, where is Brian? But I do just want to preface, sometimes, I've covered a lot of these cases for HLN and CNN. Sometimes we forget the people involved, right? Because we're so stuck on where is Brian or what's happening here. We have to remember that, humanity here. A person has died and that her family is absolutely suffering. I'm sure Brian's family is suffering too for completely different reasons. What do you think? Where is Brian?
I do not know. I think that, people are speculating, is he dead? Is he alive? I think in a lot of these situations, as you mentioned, you've covered a lot of them. It wouldn't be surprising to me either way, especially because you hear of, people who have taken the lives of people who are very close to them. And there is this seemingly, I'll say narcissism, which seems like far too little of a word. But I don't know, Sam. I have no idea.
All right, so for more on this, we are joined by criminal defense attorney and the principal of Joey Jackson Law. Joey, it is so good to see you despite these horrific circumstances. Thank you for joining DBL. So where do we go from here?
First of all, good to be with each and every one of you. Sad case indeed. That's a loaded question, Sam, for a number of reasons, but I'll tell you where I think we should go. Number one, right, we certainly need to find out where Mr. Laundrie is. That's significant. Why? Because he needs to be brought to justice. What does that mean? Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, but something seems amiss here. So the first step is to find him. What's step number two? Step number two is to proceed as the investigators are proceeding with respect to that investigation. Process one in that investigation is to do that autopsy and determine the cause of death. Why is that relevant? Because that will allow investigators and police, Sam, to make a determination as to how she died, what specifically occurred. Step number three, then, of course, is you're going to not only look at the body, I know it's graphic, but you're going to look at the surrounding crime scene and where the body was found. Now, is it possible that she could have been brought there at some later time? Is it possible that the crime was not committed there? I say crime because it's been ruled a homicide. That means it's not natural causes, so I'm confident in saying a crime was committed, but they'll scour that scene indeed for any forensic analysis that would bring them to that approach of who did it. Then after that, they're going to be speaking to any eyewitnesses, not only as to the specific instances of the criminal act itself, but filling in the gaps. Did you see them at an earlier time? What was the interaction? What were they doing? How were they doing it? Summing this up, you're also going to look at all the digital blueprint that we've been looking at. You have a real cross-country trip. It is documented, hook, line, and sinker. Here's where we are. This is what we're doing. This is what's happening. And then that goes cold. So they'll look at that digital blueprint. That'll include text messages, any emails, any other information, and that will really get investigators to the point of really determining whether he was responsible, he being Mr. Laundrie, for her death.
So, Joey, I'm curious, and I think our DBL Nation is as well. Now that we know this is a homicide, why hasn't Brian been charged with a crime?
So, he could very well have been, right? And I say that, and all of you saying, well, wait a second, we haven't heard about anything about criminality as to him. He hasn't been named a suspect. He's not a defendant in the case. I would suspect and anticipate that investigators, in conjunction with prosecutors, have delineated what specific charges they think are appropriate and viable here. I would also suspect that if they've done that, it's possible that there are charges pending, but that they're what we call, as lawyers, under seal. That means that they're not for you, I, or anyone else to know. It's for investigators to know. Remember this also. When we talk about charges, people could say, well, we don't know if he did it. We have no direct evidence. We're not sure. You don't need any of that. What you need is two things: reason to believe a crime was committed, number one, and number two, reason to believe that Mr. Laundrie committed it. That's what we call probable cause. You don't have to wait to arrest someone until you've determined to a scientific certainty it was them. You need probable cause to arrest. Once you do that, you continue to build your case so that you as a prosecutor can make an assessment and determination as to whether you can prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. I think if they find him, we're going to see charges virtually immediately.
So, Joey, there's a big difference between arresting someone and arguing he did it. So what do you think of the evidence in this case, and is it enough for a conviction?
So, great question. And obviously, listen, I'm a defense attorney, and so I believe in the presumption of innocence. I believe everybody should have their day in court. I believe everyone is entitled to the most vigorous defense, right? We have people in jail who shouldn't be in jail. That's a travesty. Having said that, there's so much circumstantial evidence here. Oftentimes, crimes are not committed in the light of day. They're not committed in major cities during the light of day where you have surveillance and you have 10 eyewitnesses. So what does that mean? It means you have to piece them together. That means that unlike those cases where you have direct evidence indicating, yes, I saw her do it, I saw him do it, I saw A, B, C, and D. In many instances, you don't have that. Prosecutors have to piece together circumstantial evidence. Brief moment of pause. What does that mean? Well, if I came in here before I had the pleasure of speaking with all of you, and it was really sunny outside, but then when I left to get some lunch or coffee after this conversation, it was wet everywhere. Cars were wet, but it wasn't raining. What can I reasonably presume? I could presume it rained while we were having this discussion. Circumstantial evidence is powerful, and they have that here. Like what? You went on a cross-country trip. You did that in June. You documented everywhere you went, all the places, who the people you were with, what food you were eating, what exactly you were doing. You were keeping in touch with your family, and then you weren't doing it. And guess what happens after that? After that, you go home, Mr. Laundrie, and Miss Petito is missing. And then there's a determination that not only is she missing, but she's dead. And you're a guy who is in the wind. So let me ask you the question. Why would you run if you had nothing to do with it? We call that consciousness of guilt. Now, to be clear, there's an autopsy that has to be performed. There's a lot of evidence that needs to be gathered. You know, he's entitled to his day in court. He'll be vigorously defended. But that circumstantial evidence, buttoning this all up, looks an awful lot like rain to me. And as a result of that, that's what you prove in a court of law as to guilt. Final point. We don't have all the evidence and information here by far. We don't have evidence that exonerates him, meaning tends to show that he's innocent. We don't have all the evidence that tends to show that he's guilty. But from what I see, you certainly have the probable cause. We'll see what happens in a court of law if we get that far, provided that he's safe and okay and didn't do something harmful to himself if or when they find him.
All right, Joey, I want to talk about Brian's parents, because if he came back and confessed anything, do they have an obligation to say something, or are they protected in any way because he's their son?
So, you know, great question. So what it comes down to is this. We know, all of us, that you have something called a spousal privilege. And what that means is that, you know, pillow talk is protected. In the event, for example, you told your spouse anything, either party, husband tells wife, wife tells husband, that's protected. It cannot see the light of day again. No one has to know about it. And it cannot be admitted in a court of law, right? Unless there's some exception or waiver and say, I want to testify, says one spouse, but it's protected. That does not extend to parents. It does not extend to children. So there is no privilege. What does that mean? It doesn't mean that parents have to be cooperative. It doesn't mean that we could expect or have them come forward and say, my son told me this and he told me that. But what it does mean, right, is in the event investigators investigate, and let's say, for example, the parents lie. Let's say, for example, they make misrepresentations. Let's say, for example, they were told information and they spoke and they weren't forthcoming about it. That's what we call hindering prosecution. That's what we call obstruction of justice. That's what we call a crime. Buttoning this up. You don't have any obligation, if you're the parents, to go singing like a canary about your child. But in the event you say something and it is false or misleading, now that becomes problematic, and now you get yourself embroiled in criminal activity, which is why all of us defense attorneys say, do not say a word. But I guarantee you they'll be subpoenaed and they'll be asked an awful lot of questions moving forward.
Wow. Joey Jackson, thank you. You are a wealth of information. Thank you for your clarity. We appreciate you joining us here in DBL. Thank you, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Great to be with all of you. Have a great day. God bless.
We'll be right back.
Closed captioning provided by
We're Thrive Cosmetics.
Okay. That was
That guy was
Attorney
a
Joey Jackson.
Snapple cap full of information.
Honestly, like as he was talking, I was like, "Oh, this is why you pay for a good attorney."
Yeah,
this is
just the way
why,
he talks.
Like,
yeah,
I feel like any court case I'm going into, I'm in good hands with Joey.
But he breaks it down and explains why, like technically, because we all kind of have like the same idea or questions, but he really breaks it down for you.
Right. Like I never understood like when you were allowed to testify against your spouse and when you weren't. Like, and I was curious as to what obligation do the parents have, because like most parents are not gonna tell on their kids. Some people call the police on their kids, but I didn't know what obligation they had. So there's so many different things legally. And when we first started talking about this case, I was like, I literally do not understand the law. I understand law and order, TV law, but I don't understand like when you're forced to speak, how they obtain warrants. Why was he allowed to go home and then seemingly leave if he did go home? Like, I just wasn't understanding.
I think they're keeping a lot of, I wanted to ask him, but we ran out of time, but like a lot of stuff close to the vest, right? They don't want to show their cards. They want to make sure if he did do it, which it seems like he did, allegedly, they don't want to get off on a technicality. They want to make sure he's convicted.
The investigators, I believe, know where he is or are very close to finding where he is, but they're not going to say it because they want him to stay put.
I believe
Any day now,
too.
we're going to have an arrest, or they're going to know what happened to him. So.
Yeah. And then he'll go to jail, and he'll
If
have
he's alive.
4 girlfriends in there.
Yeah, and he'll probably have a family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such
and
a
a
weird
Netflix
thing.
special in 10
The
years.
guy that killed his family in Colorado, not too far from here, he's got a girlfriend, and I think I have a kid on the way.
You mean the man
Okay.
who put his
Thank you,
kids in a
Chris.
barrel?
Yeah.
And his wife? Yeah.
He's dating.
Good for him.
He's
I'm glad.
dating.
I'm glad he's
How was that? Like, who?
Dude, that's what
who was
sickens
like,
me.
you know what? This guy needs to have a girlfriend. Like, I don't understand.
And how it's allowed, and who is that person?
I don't understand. You know, again.
Tori Schulman, Al Jackson, Erica Cobb, Jeff Schroeder, Sam Shocker. This is my show, baby. Celebrating our 5th year and going strong, DBL is always all new every day. Welcome back to DBL. So Kelly Ripa's husband, Mark Consuelos, knows how to keep the peace at home. Smart guy. Kelly recently revealed on her show how Mark likes to settle any issues that come up in their relationship a specific way. Watch.
He would have been like, oh, you're upset? I know how to take care of that. Oh, you don't feel good about something? I'll take care of that. Oh, you're feeling like maybe you're overworked? I got you. I know what you need. Because everything for Mark is settled with, love and sexy time.
What, you're laughing. What do you think about this?
I agree.
Really?
Not everything. She said everything. Not everything. But if you're fighting about something stupid, you're arguing about this or that, you know.
I feel like most healthy relationships, your arguments are over something kind of silly. They're not over like, whose underwear are these? Like, they're more like, hey, you said you were going to. That's serious. Like,
oh, you mean
I'm saying it's like,
gotcha,
hey, you said you were going to pick the dry cleaning up, and you didn't. So if you add up the course of your relationship, all the silly fights, that's a lot of time. If you can mitigate that and remove some of that and replace some of that fight time with sexy time, why wouldn't you do that? Why? You'll talk better after sex anyway.
Erica?
I'm just so shocked that the 2 men on the panel would say that, of course, it just cures everything.
I didn't say cures.
Hey, my wife brings me coffee sometimes in the morning.
Oh, and
so
now
it's
this
not
is a really great opportunity to tell you how great I cure it. I get coffee afterward. I think that a lot of times for women, it's such a mental block when there's something going on that ain't quite right. So I don't know if going to the bedroom is really the cure for or end all be all.
Yeah, when I'm in a fight with my husband, I don't want to be near him. I need my space, and Mark needs his space too. So this does not apply in our relationship at all. I did look at the psychology of it because none of us are clinicians, and the clinicians out there say that yes, intimacy is very, very vital in a relationship, but you don't want to substitute, AKA put a Band-Aid on the thousands of issues that you may not be dealing with by just turning to sex. So I think that's important too.
I will say this, and one thing that I did learn, I know we're joking around a little bit, but in couples therapy, they said if you take a break, and then when you come back, just hold each other's hand while you talk.
I love that.
And that it just like the physical touch.
Yes.
Jeff's out, but the physical touch does help, like when you were communicating, like, this is how I felt. Do you hear me? And then repeat back what they just said.
That could put you in the
If we're getting in the pool, we're getting wet. I'm not just dipping my toe in.
Well,
The hands.
There we go.
Whoa.
Hang on.
But that's the aphrodisiac right there. Holding her hand, telling her, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
That works.
Holding her hand during sex, even better.
Oh,
That's what I'm talking about.
There we go. Back
All
on
right.
Team Jeff.
Coming up. That didn't come from Jeff. That came from you. Back on Team Al.
But we're together.
We're men.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And we're disgusting.
Two-man crew.
Coming up, Erica's face. Can we just look at Erica's face, please? Coming up on DBL from the brand new TLC show, Dr. Mercy. She's telling us all about her most interesting cases when it comes to dealing with unusual skin conditions.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
When their skin betrays them, they'll need some mercy, and that's who they call Dr. Mercy. Earlier, Tori and Erica chatted with the dermatologist about her new TLC show. That's today's DBL Spotlight.
The skin is a manifestation of what's going on internally. So a lot of what we do in dermatology is not just the skin that you're treating a person as a whole. I actually come with the philosophy that we're all brothers and sisters. If you come into a room to see me, you're automatically a family member.
Please welcome Dr. Mercy Odiembo to DBL. Hello, Doc.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Absolutely. We do want to, Dr. Mercy, most people wouldn't consider dermatology to be what you call like an emotional field, but that clip really showed you how raw it can make you feel because it's what people see. So why do you believe your services move people so much?
I really think that, just like you said, when you first meet a person, the first thing you see is their physical appearance and just what they look like. It's weird, like most people would rather fix something that they're struggling with physically before they even go into their doctor for like their blood pressure, their blood sugars, because that's the first thing that you see. That's what you're judged on. That's what people talk about.
We can see some of your patients and some of the examples that things that could really make someone feel like they can't be a part of society. So what is the craziest condition you've seen, and how do you know how to treat it?
No matter how big your clothing is, people still look at you. When you have all this like lumps and bumps or birthmark stains on your face, people stare. They think something is wrong. People act like you have a disease that's contagious. The patients didn't do anything to get this. It just happens to be that way. And that really is very sad for me. And I'm hoping the show can change people's perception of skin conditions.
I like that we're going more than skin deep. Now, some people can get weak stomachs with some of this stuff. Do you ever have that, or are you just doctor mode?
Oh no, I'm also human. No. In one of the episodes, you'll actually see me run into the bathroom throwing up because a patient grabbed her cyst and started playing with it. And my stomach couldn't take it anymore.
Erica.
Yep.
Well, it's good to know that you're human too, because sometimes I feel like maybe I'm just weak. Like I'm just super weak, you know?
Queasy.
Just like you guys.
Yeah.
I throw up. Just like you guys, I get sick sometimes.
Oh, man.
Understandable. Well, you say you treat the problem from the inside out. So what advice can you give to viewers at home who are struggling with skin conditions right now?
I think the best thing is find a board-certified dermatologist that can help you. For a lot of skin conditions, there's actually a cure or something to give you a better life. You can have a relationship with your kids, with your families. Most of my patients just stay at home because they don't want people to laugh at them or look at them. And we're here to change that.
Wow. What's your favorite part of the job?
Oh my goodness, talking to the patients. Connecting with people, I feel like it's a gift, it's a privilege to meet my patients. When they walk through my door, I take it as a privilege. Because one thing I've learned is if I just treat the patient's skin conditions, I'm only doing half of my job. So I try to really dig deep and find out what else is going on, what else can I help with, and that's what I enjoy the most.
It's just so great to know that there are people out there who are advocating and really helping us from the inside out, but making us shine on the outside.
Coolest name ever, Dr. Mercy. Love it. Her show, Dr. Mercy, premieres today on TLC. We can't wait to check it out. We'll be right back. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you for having me.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Tomorrow on DBL, Chelsea Handler will be here live. She's in love for the first time in years, but who's the lucky guy? The famous fellow comedian at the center of all the romance rumors. Plus, Jana Kramer on life after a messy divorce, how she's moving on with new music. That's tomorrow on DBL. Welcome back to DBL. We are so excited to have Chelsea live on the show tomorrow. Okay, lots of comments. Jessica writes in, another great legal expert on today, Joey Jackson. I mean, that's someone you want defending you, right? And then we have Kevin, I can't wait to watch the TLC show. I'm weird, but find this stuff interesting. It's so funny. We were just all talking about that. It's either you like watching that type of stuff or you don't. Do you?
I can't watch I can't see the
thing is, I think that
the stuff.
That's what makes your show good. It's either you can't or you really love it, and that's the best way to get a cult following. My girl and my daughter will watch a marathon. So
our producer Michael Dean lives for it.
And Erica's never had a zit in her whole life.
Erica's face is flawless.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
I'm on proof.
If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online. Watch on YouTube, dailyblastlive.com, or our DBL mobile app. But if you're sticking around, here's what's coming up. Nicole Richie accidentally sets her hair on fire while blowing out birthday candles. What she's saying about the crazy moment. And Willie Garson gone too soon. How Sex and the City fans and co-stars are remembering the actor who played Stanford.
It's important that we have accurate information, so let's verify some fast facts about the flu. Our sources are this panel of health experts and top scientific organizations. First, let's answer this. Is there a best time to get the flu shot? Our experts say that the answer is yes. The best time to get the shot is before the end of October, because that's usually when flu season starts to pick up. Let's move on to our next question. Is it true that getting the flu shot can cause a positive COVID test? And this one is false. Here's how our experts explain it. The flu shot causes your body's immune system to make antibodies that protect you from influenza. Those antibodies are completely different from the ones that you would have if you were fighting COVID-19. And COVID tests look for genetic makeup unique to SARS-CoV-2, not the flu. Bottom line, having flu antibodies will not cause you to test positive for COVID-19. And let's move on to our last question. Can you get your flu shot and a COVID booster shot at the same time? Our experts say that there isn't a lot of research, but early data says that the answer is yes. Take it from Johns Hopkins professor, Dr. Anna Durbin.
I'm very convinced that it's very safe to give these vaccines either at the same time or within days of one another. It's unlikely that it's going to affect the immunogenicity or the protective effectiveness of either of these vaccines.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Erica, Jeff, and Al. Let's get started. So we do begin with some very sad news for fans of Sex and the City. Willie Garson, who played Stanford Blatch, passed away at the age of 57 after battling pancreatic cancer. Willie played Carrie Bradshaw's gay BFF on the television show, and in both of the Sex and the City movies, he was set to appear in the new HBO reboot. In the second film, he did marry, or he famously rather got married by Liza Minnelli. Take a look.
And now, the brooms have written their own brooms.
Bride, groom, broom.
Oh, broom! Oh, that's marvelous.
Thank you, Liza Minnelli.
Wow. Willie's son, Nathan, paid tribute to his dad on Instagram, calling him the toughest, funniest, and smartest person he's ever known. And on Twitter, Kim Cattrall called his passing an incredible loss to the Sex and the City family. Cynthia Nixon said he was endlessly funny on screen and in real life. Kristen Davis said she and Willie bonded over being single parents of adopted kids. And his on-screen husband, Mario Cantone, said he was devastated and overwhelmed with sadness. Willie and Sarah Jessica Parker were lifelong friends, both on screen and off, and as of this taping, she has yet to post any messages on social media. This was a sudden passing, but he's been battling pancreatic cancer for some time. Heartbreaking.
Yeah, you know, and I got the alert, and I was like, oh no, not Stanny. You know, I think anyone who's a fan of the show felt that way. I do want to say something about Sarah Jessica Parker not posting, because a lot of people have pointed that out. And even though we're in a social media society, there still is a decorum. And when someone passes away, especially someone that you've had a lifelong relationship with, there is a list of things, of grieving process and people that you want to have a conversation with before you post to your followers. And I just want to remind people of that, especially in light of everything that's happened in the past year and a half. A lot of us have gone through a lot of loss, that there is decorum. Because for those of us who have found out about close passings of people from social media, it is never a great thing. So let her go through her process, and I'm sure she's going to have something very deep and profound to say.
When she's ready.
Right.
Glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, beautifully said, Erica. And of course, our thoughts and prayers go to his family. Today is the first day of fall, and for many people, that means pumpkin carving and dressing up for Halloween. But talk show host James Corden recently confessed that he isn't a fan of the holiday. How can that be? Take a look.
Halloween, great for children, but it's just, I can't do it. Yeah, it's a joke. I dread it. I actually dread it. And the other thing I dread most is that people call it a holiday, which it isn't. If it was, we wouldn't have to come into work that day.
This is coming from the guy who loves Broadway, dressing up, and dresses like a mouse at stoplights.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah, midday.
Yeah,
so you don't like dressing up, James?
I think Halloween hits both people. Adults like it. Obviously, kids like it. They were the originators. I feel like New Year's we can get rid of.
So you don't like New Year's?
No, I don't like. First of all, New Year's is different time zones. So you have friends calling you at 8 o'clock at night, like, and you're like, dude, it's not here for me yet. And then, you know, it's just like it's a holiday to get drunk, and I'm like, that's what St. Patty's Day is for. So you do that on St. Patty's. I say, just like sports, we trade New Year's Eve for the day after the Super Bowl. Straight up, even trade, and make that a holiday.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Absolutely.
First of all, I live for every holiday, including New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I'm not getting wasted. I am saying goodbye to either a horrific year or a good year or the trials and tribulations that I've learned from that year. And then I wake up the next day and I manifest. Erica's the queen of manifestation, but what she is, I got to give it to Erica. But what holiday do you love or hate?
Is that what you do on New Year's?
Don't use Erica to back up that statement.
Yeah, I wake up and manifest. People start drinking at 6 p.m.
Not me. I have 2 kids.
Okay. Yes,
we're
but I'm
banging
saying most
pans at
people-
9:30 pretending it's.
Who would win that holiday?
Good neighbor as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Sam, I appreciate a good New Year's Day manifestation, but my New Year's Day starts with Mimosa Nation. I think that really, I agree with Al. The day after Super Bowl should absolutely be a holiday. I think anything that we call a holiday deserves a day off. And in fact, I'm going on record right now that henceforth and forevermore, since I am the official host of Super Bowl each year.
Yes, you are.
I am calling that Monday for myself a holiday.
Okay.
The day after Super Bowl, I will not be here from henceforth and forevermore.
Okay, Erica, you'll deserve it. What holiday do you hate?
Valentine's Day.
Why?
Get real. Get real with your stupid, overpriced flowers. Sorry, florists out there. And your fake cards that you didn't even write. Someone else wrote it, and you're going to give that to me?
Facts.
No. Get real.
Not facts.
Get
You can go to
real.
your garden and pick the most beautiful, fragrant flowers.
Gross.
And also, Sam, let's be real. If somebody did go to a garden, got real flowers, and wrote a card, they'd be like, this cheap dude.
That's not true.
He got me some garden flowers. No, let's be honest.
You just steal them
People
from.
do check to see, like, oh, how much was that bouquet? What restaurant were you able to get into? He spent how much on the bracelet he got you?
Nope.
There is some monetary value associated with
holiday.
I'm not against it.
No?
I'm not against any holiday.
I'm not against getting rid of Valentine's Day.
Ooh. Yeah.
We are 2-0.
Okay, first of all, everybody steps all over my birthday and calls it Valentine's Day.
True.
And then all of a sudden, I can't get a reservation at my favorite restaurant because y'all want to play, ooh, let's be special today. Can it? I got you.
I'm with Erica 100%.
Team Erica today.
All right. Let's get to Nicole Richie because she recently celebrated turning 40. Happy birthday. But she may have had too many candles on her cake, okay? She posted this video of her hair catching on fire as she went to blow out her candles. She captioned the post writing, "So far, 40 is fire." Wow.
Yes.
She's lucky because this could have definitely not
I've seen
been
this.
a
I used to
laughing
work in
matter.
comedy clubs where they used to light candles, and this would happen from time to time. People leaning over trying to see the menu, and there is an unmistakable smell when somebody's hair goes up. But here's where I think they messed up with this birthday. I think 40-year-old and past that, you should switch from cake to cupcakes. Because cupcakes, you can have one uniform theme, but adults usually don't want a big piece of cake. You just want a little taste of cake. So like cupcakes, have a nice display.
Don't be coming up in my birthday telling me if I should have a cake or a cupcake.
I think cupcakes would look okay, well, let's go to the grocery store then.
I want a cake.
Yeah, you can print stuff on a cake. You can put a picture on a cake. You can print stuff on a cupcake.
You can have a uniform theme of cupcakes, and then every adult knows how much cake they're eating.
Oh, great. So if Sophie's having a Trolls birthday party, I'm going to have to...
Sophie, 40 years old? This is for 40-year-olds and up.
Okay, so if Erica's having her 41st birthday party and I want to have a really cool picture of Erica on the cake, how am I supposed to do that with cupcakes?
You can still decorate cupcakes. They'll just be a little like...
No, this is how you do it, Al. This is the way I do it. I have the cake because I get the same cake ever since I was born. My mom would get me the same cake. Then you get the to-go cupcakes as party favors in the little jar.
Oh.
Okay, Erica, I'm 44. I can't have cake and to-go cupcakes. I cannot control myself.
You do need
I don't
a to-go
need cake
cupcake.
to leave the place where I just had cake.
Yes.
I appreciate it, but I have no self-control.
Are you a cake or a cupcake guy?
I'm with my boy Al. Always.
Yeah, right, Jeffrey.
Always.
Yeah,
Listen, I just want a little. I'd rather eat more food than I'd rather eat dessert.
I don't buy it.
Food is the best.
I don't buy your. I like to reminisce on the first. You're hungover.
I absolutely am not.
Sam's the only person I believe is not.
Yeah, I absolutely am not.
You didn't buy my food
She's
thing. I'm telling you
concussed
the
from
truth.
banging pots all
I'm not
night.
a sweet guy. I'm a salty guy. I'd rather have cheese for dessert.
I do believe that with
Yes.
you. A charcuterie board, right?
Absolutely.
That's all Jeffrey. All right, coming up on DBL, a chilling true crime chronicle story about a serial killer who is sentenced to death. How the family of one of his victims is reacting to the news next.
It's Hispanic Heritage Month, and DBL is celebrating by bringing attention to those who have left their mark on Hispanic culture. Today, we honor rapper Cardi B.
Hit the school, I can get them both, I don't wanna choose.
Born Belcalis Almanzar, she is the first person of Dominican descent to reach #1 in the history of the Hot 100. Aside from rap, she also focuses on political efforts, like the iconic Zoom call she had with President Joe Biden in August 2020.
And this is why it's important to have free Medicare.
Cardi B embraces her no-filter attitude and makes money doing it. Closed captioning provided by...
All right, we didn't get to a story. Sam is very distraught because she loves Disneyland.
Yes.
She's going to double check. So there's a story about Jessica Rabbit, and she was too revealing. I guess there's a
Her
picture
red
of her on the ride.
Right.
So they put a trench coat on her and made her look like a detective, and that was our next story that we were going to talk about. But Sam's upset because she goes to Disneyland all the time and doesn't remember the ride.
I have a couple issues with this. One, isn't that body shaming? If we did a story about a student that was curvaceous and the principal walked up and made her put a trench coat on, we would be covering that story. And everybody in here would be like, oh.
That's a good point.
Yeah. And also, the trench coat almost is like makes it sexy too. Let's
Like
be
if
honest.
she had a leg sticking out of the
Right,
trench coat.
it's kind of it's a thing
It's a
in our
little-
culture. Let's be honest. So I don't know. I have issues.
Our
with
show would be
this.
a lot different if it was just me and Al.
Erica, do you agree with me that if this was a real person, I hope you're not going to
I don't know what we're talking about. Sorry, y'all.
got to go to work.
She's got to. Yeah.
Well, you guys tell me if you agree with me.
I agree with you,
If
buddy.
this is a real person, would this be a problem?
Yes.
Don't be body shaming Jessica.
Tori Schulman, Al Jackson, Erica Cobb, Jeff Schroeder, Sam Shocker. This is my show, baby. Celebrating our 5th year and going strong, DBL is always all new every day. Everyone is talking about DBL. And year 5 is going to be big. I cannot wait. Bold debates.
You're canceling people.
That says a lot.
Hot celebs.
Look, we treat everything as a joke.
Thank you very much, Sean Stamos.
Just turn up the notch on that. Enjoy it.
And all the laughs.
Awesome. I love it. Let's do it. Yes.
DBL is always all new every day.
Welcome back to DBL. The killing fields are an area in South Texas where many unidentified serial killers disposed of their victims. For Friendswood, a community near those fields, their horror began with the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl. Here's the story of Laura Smither, the tiny dancer, in today's True Crime Chronicles.
Everyone who knew Laura loved Laura. Her love was immediately with ballet.
On a gray and drizzling morning in April 1997, Laura Smither decides to go for a jog.
She had just gotten into the Houston Ballet Academy, and hundreds and hundreds of girls audition every year. She got in. Laura had just finished reading a book that had inspired her to start running, so she asked permission to go out for this run, and she had never, ever done that. That was the very first time.
Laura waves goodbye to her parents and promises to be home in time for breakfast. But as the minutes turn to hours, breakfast becomes cold on their plates.
And that's my life sentence. I have to live with that every day, because I gave her permission to go out running, and she didn't come home.
Her parents call the police.
We knew right away that something wasn't right.
Authorities begin a frantic search for Laura, fearing she has been abducted. More than 6,000 volunteers begin searching over 800 square miles.
Laura Kate Smither is described as 5'3", weighing 98 pounds, with long, dark brown curly hair and braces. The search is by air, by foot, and even by horseback. It seems as if the whole town is taking part.
As the hours turn to days, the days become weeks. Police find no trace of Laura, but her parents refuse to let go of the hope that she will find her way home.
She's coming home, and if she's out there and she can hear us, Laura, you find a way to find us, and we will find you.
It's become a cliche that missing child is the worst nightmare, but it really is. When you have a child and you don't know where they are, and you have that momentary panic, I think every parent has at one point or time has experienced that and can relate to that. We'll take that experience and multiply it by 1,000.
Okay, about 3:45 today, we got a call from a man who was out here with his dog. He was out here training the dog for retrieval. He and his son, and the dog apparently found his body.
17 days after her abduction, Laura's remains are discovered.
It is the opinion of my department and its investigators and myself as its chief that the young woman found off Beltway 8 is Laura Kate Smither.
Investigators find little evidence, having been eroded by time and the elements, but they do determine that Laura was likely strangled. Little progress is made in Laura's case as investigators race to find the killer.
Quite a few months later, one of the reporters did an expose of all the missing girls. We had no idea that so many girls had gone missing in our area.
No one has a clue who could be responsible. They only know young women are vanishing. A serial killer is on the loose. However, when 19-year-old Sandra Sepaw is abducted at knife point, she astonishingly escapes. She identifies her abductor to police. William Reese, a part-time construction worker, is arrested for the kidnapping and rape of Sandra Sepaw. He becomes a person of interest in Laura's murder shortly after. Nonetheless, investigators fail to definitively connect Reese to any of the other murders in Friendswood, including Laura's, and her case goes cold.
William Reese was sentenced to 60 years in prison for the rape and abduction of Sandra Sepaw in 1998. 18 years later, he finally confessed to Laura's murder and even led investigators to the missing bodies of other victims. He is currently on death row awaiting execution for the murder of an Oklahoma woman. But the wounds he left on the Friendswood community and Laura's family cut deeper. Earlier, we invited Laura's mom to talk with us about her daughter. Here's what she had to say.
Gay, thank you so much for being here. Let's start with what's important, and that's Laura. How would you like us to remember Laura?
Just that she was an extraordinary human being whose life was cut short by someone who had so little to contribute, and he took somebody's life who Laura had so much to contribute to the world, and she's not here to give all the gifts that she had to give.
Well, you went to Oklahoma for the trial of William Reese, so what was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was brutal. Obviously, it reopened old wounds that, there's no such thing as closure. That's a made-up media word. There's no closure on love. So the best you get is a really thick scab. And for years you live with that scab and you're okay. And every now and then you knock the scab and you bleed. And that's what it was like. I was bleeding again.
I wanted to ask, you said you forgive Reese. How? How are you able to?
My journey to forgiveness was through the sacrament of reconciliation, which my church offers. It's known more commonly as confession. Forgiveness is really for me. I forgive Reese, but it took me out of the angst and the terrible cage that I was in. It doesn't mean I condone or will ever forget, but it allows me to live in a more normal state.
Can you just tell us a little bit about your husband and how he's dealing with it all?
Bob definitely went inside, and he does not have a faith to cling to like I do. My faith is what got me through. I don't know, to be honest, how he does it, but he always says he goes to the Church of Brazos Bend State Park. He loves that park, and he communes with nature, and he releases his pain in that way. But it's a longer journey for him.
Thank you so much for talking with us, for personalizing this, for humanizing Laura. Your family will be in our thoughts and prayers. And for everyone watching at home, if you want to hear more about Laura, we covered her story and many others on our True Crime Chronicles podcast, available on any podcast player. Thank you again, Gay. We are thinking of Laura. We'll be right back.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott wants President Biden to declare a federal emergency along the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of migrants are living under a bridge in Del Rio, Texas. That's about 150 miles west of San Antonio. Most of them are from Haiti, trying to seek asylum in the United States. Families say they left out of fear after a series of natural disasters, the assassination of the country's president, and a sharp rise in violence. But they didn't come directly to the U.S.-Mexico border. Thousands of Haitians went to South America after the 2010 earthquake. The New York Times first reported that Haitians were offered humanitarian visas to some South American countries as low-wage workers. According to Brazil's government, Haitian migration hit a peak of 17,000 in 2018. Chile's peak was in 2018 as well, when the government issued 126,000 visas to Haitians. Those numbers have since plummeted due to stricter immigration regulations, economic instability, and discrimination. So the Haitian migrants travel north through Central America and Mexico, trying to reach the United States. And that brings us to the border. The latest data from Customs and Border Protection shows nearly 28,000 Haitians intercepted in the current fiscal year, which ends September 30th. That's more than 6 times the number in 2020. With the current influx in Del Rio, the Department of Homeland Security is taking migrants to other customs processing locations in Eagle Pass and in Laredo. The U.S. is also carrying out flights to take migrants back to Haiti and other destinations. While that happens, migrants are left to wait under the bridge while the U.S. government works out its plan for humanitarian relief and relocation.
To DBL, if Becky from Medicare is giving you a call, hang up on Becky. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. According to AARP, the robocaller claims to be a patient advocate named Becky and is offering a precautionary genetic cancer screening. If the caller says everyone qualifies for the test or that you shouldn't consult with your own doctor, no, that call is fake. If you receive a genetic testing kit in the mail, don't accept it unless your own doctor ordered it. Refuse the delivery or return it to the sender and keep a record of it. If your information has been breached, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more. What a bad situation. It's just weird to call her Becky, right?
I feel like she should use her government name for that call.
Yeah, Rebecca makes it seem more.
I think so too.
No, they leave it on your thing. They're like, this is Becky. Like if you get a transcript on your phone, what? Don't answer it. I get a Mary all the time saying I didn't pay my taxes.
Rebecca seems way more credible.
Okay.
Just a friend.
We're getting the hard rap.
We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
A majority of Hispanics surveyed say they generally prefer to identify themselves by their country of origin rather than by the labels Latino or Hispanic. But when it comes time to check the box, what do they do? To find out, we checked with the U.S. Census and the Pew Research Center. The U.S. Office of Management and Budget defines Hispanic or Latino as someone from Cuba, Mexico, Puerto Rico, South or Central America. The Pew Research Center uses the term Hispanic for anyone who is from or has ancestors from a Spanish-speaking country. That excludes Brazil, since Portuguese is the main language there, but it does include Spain. A general rule of thumb is a person who speaks Spanish is Hispanic, whereas someone from Spain or has origins in Spain is Spanish. Latino, Latina, and the newer Latinx tend to be based more on geographics, meaning someone of Latin American descent. According to Pew, in 2020, the Hispanic population in America reached more than 62 million people, up from 50.5 million in 2010. That's 1 in 5 people in the U.S. Those of Mexican origin make up about 62% of the overall population, followed by Puerto Ricans, Cubans, Salvadorans, and Dominicans. Since Latino and Hispanic are frequently used interchangeably, the U.S. Census has chosen to keep the answer straightforward. Who is Hispanic? Anyone who chooses to identify themselves as such. And that's connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. Conor McGregor may want to stick to fighting. The MMA star threw a wild first pitch at the Cubs game last night. Take a look. Whoa. Yep, it wasn't even close to the plate. When are you going to do this already, Jeff?
So we haven't even told anybody that I was going to do this. COVID, I was supposed to throw out the first pitch, and I didn't because of COVID, but it was my lifelong dream to do that. But it makes me nervous seeing Conor not be able to do it.
But you're going to practice. He should have taken his jacket off first and foremost.
Well, his equilibrium has got to be a little off by being jacked in the head so many times.
Hey, listen, I just think people underestimate it. They're like, I can throw a ball to the catcher, and then they get there, and it's a lot further than they think, and they panic, and they just try and use strength, and it goes in the stands.
I want to see you do it.
I want to see me do
the
it
universe.
Yep. DBL's new every day. We'll see you tomorrow.